goes out to my mother, Beverly K. Jacobs, and to the world. Let them know that we live by faith and not by sight.
Sometimes the best that we do always ain't good enough. And they tell me that even at the top sometimes it's hard to stay looking up. But I know that my afflictions won't last, so I gotta stay looking up. So I'm gonna stand this day, and now I ain't giving up. Sometimes the best that we do always ain't good enough. And they tell me that even at the top sometimes it's hard to stay looking up. But I know that my afflictions won't last, so I gotta stay looking up. So I'm gonna stand this day, and now I ain't giving up. In the beginning of the earth was the word, in which all things now live by what they heard. Something planted in them that this world couldn't break, and those events many men love to live by faith. I speak in contrary to the flesh, nevertheless commitment necessary for the best one, yes. So we tear it to make right wrong, make to understand that the game is just a test, more or less. That my brain and my situation grew up, and not every for circumstances now.
Joy in heaven, come to you in prayer right now saying thank you. Thank you for this day that you have given to us. Another day that we can praise your name. Another day that we can gather together. Another day that we can feel your love and embrace. We thank you for everything you're doing for us and everything you will do for us. We ask that you continue to watch over us and strengthen us and guide us with your truth. Continue to teach us. Continue to mold us. Continue to strengthen us in your word, that we lack nothing. We pray for your spirit as we go into your word. Pray for your truth. Pray for knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Pray that you bless ears with all those that need to hear it, and that you block all communication that hinders. In the name of Yahuwah, we pray forever and ever. Hallelujah. All right. All right. So the title of this one would be love. Yes. Now, I want y'all to definitely deal with me. The reason why I want to call this one love is because a lot of times you get lost in the shuffle. I think love is such a underrated word, but yet it's so powerful. Uh, um, and when you're not taught it by Yah, you will misinterpret it. Um, and so today we will reveal love. Those that are friends of it and those that are against it. All right? All right. So let's get going. In order to truly understand it, I want you to go to Matthew 14:22. Matthew 14, and we'll start at 22. When we're there, say hallelujah. We will reveal some hidden things. Yah gives us the knowledge to be able to understand the mysteries of Yah and the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, and also some of the mysteries that are on earth. So it was through this story that we will see. Now this was Peter and them coming back with the disciples with Yahushua. They was coming back from feeding the 5,000, and Yah wanted them to go over and cross over the river in order to separate themselves from the people. And then he told them to go ahead of him, and he would meet them over there. So the disciples got on the boat, and of course they went their way to go over the cross, so that they can kind of sit, because it is always times, that you need to separate yourself for just a moment, to regather yourself, and always, because you have to constantly check on yourself, temperature check. And I know sometimes you get so caught up on others, you forget to check yourself, diagnose yourself, just make sure that you're doing everything that you're supposed to be doing. So Yahushua never minded doing those things. And then he will reunite with the people. You know what I mean? It's kind of like going into that little cocoon like a butterfly for just a moment, and caterpillar, just to make sure, and then you come back out that butterfly, right? Just to make sure that you're standing in the truth like you're supposed to. So when they had crossed over, it says it like this. 22 says, and straightway Yahushua constrained his disciples to get into a ship and to go before him unto the other side, while he sent the multitudes of people away. So he sent the multitude of people away. He tell them, go ahead of me while I, disperse the crowd. I'm going to go ahead and, send these people home. So, he probably prayed over them and things like that. So, So 23 says, and when he had sent the multitudes away, he went up into the mountain apart, by himself to what? To pray. And when the evening was come, he was there alone. But the ship was now in the midst of the sea, tossed with waves, for the wind was contrary. In the fourth watch of the night, Yahushua went unto them, walking on the sea. And when the disciples saw him walking on the sea, this is the famous one, they would say walking on water, right? They were troubled when they seen him doing that, saying, it is a spirit. And they cried out for fear. But straightway Yahushua spake unto them, saying, be of good cheer, it is I. Be not afraid. And Peter answered him and said, well, if it be you, bid me that I can come unto thee on the water. Right? So you got the situation now that Yahushua is walking on water, the one that they call Jesus. Same person, is just the Hebrew name we use instead of the name that's given by most people. And so when he's walking on water, Peter was like, well, hey, what you can do, I should be able to do it too. So he was like, well, pray that I can do it too. And so 29 says, so Yahushua said, come. And when Peter come about down out of the ship, he did begin to what? Walk on the water too, to go to Yahushua. But when he saw the wind boisterous, he was what? And began to what? And he cried, saying, Lord, save me. And immediately Yahushua stretched forth his hand and caught him and said unto him, O thou of little faith, wherefore didst thou doubt? Meaning, lame man term, O ye of little faith, why did you doubt? Why did you doubt? And when they had come into the ship, the wind ceased. Then they that were in the ship came and worshipped him, saying, of a truth, you really are the Son of Yah. Now, in order to understand what was really happening for Peter, it was a learning experience. We can kind of gather that much on our own. Because he was like, well, of course, the question was, why couldn't I do it? Meaning I began to do it, but then what happened? This is all about what he called it, what? Faith. Yes, he began to lose faith. And he said, so why for did thou doubt? And he said, because 30 said, because when he saw the wind became what? Boisterous, meaning began to blow real, violently. He was what?
Right.
And that's what made him begin to what? So in this alone, we can take from this that faith is directly in correlation with fear. Faith and fear was right there on full display. Now we see when he had faith, he was able to what? But when he began to shake within his faith, he started to what? Okay. Now, walk. So therefore we understand now within that was two firmaments, or two different planes, aerial planes they would like to call it. We see him, Yahushua walking on water represented Yahushua having a discipline to himself within that faith. So within that capsule of faith, he knew the rules, he understood it. So him walking on water was very easy. Not that he ain't never tried it before, but he knew how to navigate it. See, that faith, you got to know how to, that's why he said, if you ain't taught by Yah, these things, you're not gonna be successful. So that was a learning lesson for him, Peter. That's why he was given one of the greatest teachers to be taught by. So a lot of times, Yahushua will let you do something so it can be a teaching moment. So he will use those little mistakes to be a teaching moment for him. So that was one, nevertheless. Now, we all know, if you ever been to a football game, or if you ever been to any sports game, and when you see the whole packed crowds, sometimes when they get excited, they begin to do this one motion, and they call it the wave. And when they begin to doing the wave, when you look across the audience and you see all of them doing the wave from one side of it to the other, it almost looks like what? Water. So the water represented the people, which it has always represented. People. But one type of people that separated Yahushua to be able to walk amongst them, above them, and the other ones in the water. And what separated? It was his faith. But we have to recognize now faith for what it actually is too. He says, "O ye of little what?" And why did he say little? Because Peter had to do something for him to say that right there showed very little faith. Well, what did Peter do? We know he started to sink, but before he began to sink, he had did something that caused him to sink. He became afraid. Exactly. It was that fear. So if Yahushua was standing above the waves of people, and the many masses and multitudes of people, able to walk amongst them, above them, then we can go, it's further even more safe to say that now those that are in the water are all you will call the fearful. Because immediately when Peter began to sink, it was because of his what? Fear. So Peter in return was becoming just like what? The other people. That's why Yahushua was able to walk above them, because he had very strong faith, didn't he? But Peter had it too, but then he began to what? Lose it. And he said it was in direct correlation with his fear. Letting them know that if you have fear, you will not be able to do this. You will not be able to continue in faith. You have what they call the faithful, and you have what they call the faithless. Now, those that are in the water are the what? Faithless. Because they're actually drowning in their what? Fears. Drowning in their fears. Sort of like Jonah. Sort of like Jonah, huh? He had the only thing stopped him from drowning was the what? The whale. And why was he sinking? Because what? He feared. To do what he was called to what? To do. It was fear. The same thing. So I can't leave out this wind that was boisterous, though. I can't leave out the violent wind, because we will learn who the violent wind is too. So we know now that that was all direct related to his fear. It was direct related to his fear. As much fear, if he didn't have fear, he's able to walk. He's able to complete his mission in faith. But when you begin to fear, you're no longer walking in what? Faith has been paused for that moment, and you don't even know it. But you'll know it when you start drowning in your what? Yeah. Then your fears are beginning. When I say drowning, I mean that your fears are overtaking you. You're starting to get caught up in all the thoughts of what if this and what if that, and you begin to panic and yeah. And at those moments then, you have become undone. Someone that was used to be so tied up now has become like a pair of shoestrings undone. One that was so prepared now no longer is what? Prepared. So that's what Peter had to see. O ye of little faith. All right? So understand that as we go into some of these great, great, great scriptures. I want that to be part, because we definitely would talk about the wind and who that was. Right? All right. So in order to also understand this, go to John 10, 7 through 18. He said, then Yahushua spoke unto them again, his disciples. He said, verily, verily, I say unto you, I am the door of the sheep. All that ever came before me are what? Thieves and robbers. But the sheep did not hear them. I am the door. By me, if any man enter in, he shall be what? Saved, and shall go in and out and find pasture. The thief cometh not but to steal, to kill, and to destroy. But I am come that you might have life, and that you might have it more abundantly. So he already letting you know now the working of the thief. The enemy only has the effect of the enemy speaking to you only within in the results of stealing whatever you have, killing whatever you had going on, and destroying it all together. That is the end result. But Yahushua said, but I come that you might have what? Life, and life more abundant. So now we can see what is the separation between two, which is those that are of Yah and those that are not of Yah, though they might come wearing the same clothing. You see, the end result of always going to be of their effect is that it end up robbing you of something, of a lot of good things. But the end result of his teachings was going to bring you life. One thing the devil cannot do is offer you what? Life. The devil cannot give you life. He can only threaten you with taking whatever you already had. That's it. You know, if you're holding on to something, he only going to threaten you. I'm going to take that from you if you don't do what I ask you to do or tell you to do. But when Yahushua says, when he tells you to do something, it's always going to turn out for your what? For your good. But the enemy never tells you nothing that's going to be for your good. And when you decide you're not going to do it, it comes with a threat of taking even what you have left. That's what it means to steal, kill, and what? Destroy altogether. Now, with the threats, he's telling you what the thief comes with what? Threats. So what does the thief love to play upon then? Your fear. All right? All right. 11. I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd gives his life for the sheep. So right here, stop there. He gives his life for the sheep. That's why he calls himself the good what? Shepherd. See, it's a difference. This one is willing to sacrifice himself. Right? Now you have the other one, the thief says, I threatened to take everything from you. This one says, I'm willing to give everything I have for the sake of what? Those sheep. 12. That's why he calls himself the good shepherd. But he's going to tell you the bad shepherd. He says, because 12 says, but he that is a hireling is another word for coward. Another word for what? The fearful. Same thing. So he says, now this one that is fearful and not the shepherd is that one he's telling you about to steal, kill, and destroy. But also he's telling you who's on the sheep or not. So they don't belong to this one because this one, they ain't going to hear it because I'm going to tell you what they hear when they listen to him. What do you think they hear out of this shepherd, the good shepherd, that they don't hear out of the coward shepherd? Right. What is the difference? Why they said the good sheep don't listen to them? He only tells what? He threats. That yes. And the good shepherd is the bad shepherd. Well, I'm gonna tell you what they hear. We got to look at it from the sheep point of view, listening to the shepherd, the two contrasting shepherds. That's why he said the sheep will hear my voice and they will listen. But the voice of a stranger, they will not what? Follow or hear. Now, what the difference between the two that was revealed to me was within this passage. He said, because one is a good shepherd And the other one is a what type of shepherd? He just called him a hireling. So what is a hireling again? A coward and a fearful one. So they didn't adapt to the teachings because it had fear in it. The teaching was full of what? Fear. And they couldn't receive it. Y'all finna learn something good today. They couldn't receive the teachings of the coward shepherd because all they heard out the coward shepherd's mouth was what? Fear. And they couldn't receive it because all he was worried about was his building, how much money he gonna get. He need a new car. He need a new this. He need a new that. I want a new mansion. So all they listening to when they hear him is what? How many things he got? Problems he got. And all those problems are displayed as his what? Fears. So the congregation, the flock can't adapt to that. Not those that are good sheep. See, the conversation you will know. They couldn't adapt to that conversation because that conversation was full. See, let me be honest with you. Itchy ear sheep look for people that's like them. So one coward can agree with what? Another coward. And they can be happy together. The two become what? You see? See, but when Yahushua was training up his disciples, what was he training them to be? Fearless. Exactly. He was teaching them to be fearless. Think about everything he showed. That even the things that you do know he did for his disciples, that was the biggest thing he did for them. Was to show them how not to walk in what? Fear. Because you can't have the faith and have fear too. I'm telling you the truth. So when you say, well, Peter, that's why they was being called disciples. Because they was learning. So that's why he was able to start at first walking, but then he began to what? Sink. The minute he felt the wind become violent towards him, it made him, quiver a little bit. Now, what did he hear out of that wind? That threatening wind. He heard what? A threat. He said a boisterous wind is a threatening wind. A violent, threatening wind. So when the wind hit him, like as if the wind was threatening his what? His life. Exactly. And when he felt it, he was like, oh. See, it was all good, that faith, until he heard the first what? Threat. See, a lot of us are like that too. The minute we hear that first threat, we about to what? Sink. Faith gone. Drowning it now in fear. Oh, Lord, they're going to get me from this way. They're going to get me from that way. They're going to get me from this way. They're going to get me from that way. Drowning in fears. Because you heard one threat. And now the faith for a lot of us is done. That's it. I did my best. I can't do it no more. Oh, no. You see now? The difference between, he said, but I give my life for the what? For the sheep. You see, for him it was no thing. That was why he was able to walk on water. Because for him it was no thing. He never feared death. He never feared their threats. Not once did he even entertain it. See, that's how the devil get a lot of us in entertaining what? Fears. The key to it is not to what? to entertain it? Do you need to entertain it? See, that's what you're going to learn in this faith for those that understand true faith. Faith is a discipline. Not many master it because it comes with a level of maturity that a lot of people ain't grew up to. They would say, them shoes a little bit too big for my feet. I can't wear it. It's too much. You're asking of me to do too much. But that's actually what is reasonable. And the only doorway in, I'm telling you now, Peter showed it that day when he was about to what? Drown. Because either you're going to stand up there with Yahusha walking on water, or you're going to what? You're going to sink with the rest of them who have what? The fearful, the scary, and the biggest name he calls them at that point is what? Unbelievers. So the water represented the unbelievers. But now he reveals to you what makes them unbelievers. Fear. Fear. Let's keep going. Now I know this one, yes, because this will test you. Because this is the thing. It ain't like you can get out of it what? Anyway. Because if you get out of it, you ain't nothing more but what? What? Unbeliever. And that's not what we came here to become, was it? See, they asked for the strength. So we give them what? The strength. You didn't come and ask for, I want to be like that one day, but then you thought I wasn't going to show you what it's going to cost. Because it's only one way to be like walking on water like Yahushua. It's only one way. He's telling you now. It's only one way. You got to keep the what? Keep your what? Faith. You got to believe. You got to believe. Or you're going to drown like the rest of the people because they couldn't do it no more. They say, it's too much for me. Now, I got to give you the remedy too. So you in for a treat. For any that maybe feel like, oh Lord, is that me? No, but trust me, there was always a remedy. And Yahushua provided that as well too. All right. Here we go. Skip down to 15. No. Yeah, skip down to 15. All right. He says, so as the Father knoweth me, even so know I the Father, and I lay down my life for the sheep. And other sheep I have which are not of this fold, them also I must bring. Talking about us in the latter days. And they shall hear my voice too, and they shall be one fold and one what? Shepherd. So he's telling you, you gotta see, and hear his voice thing actually means him teaching you. He said they would hear my voice, and they would what? They would hear the teachings, and they will understand. Oh, I get it. I get it. I get it. Right? And he say when they get it, they're gonna become one what? One fold, representing one body of people, having the same mind, having the same heart, having the same faith, right? That's what they're going to be built on. They're going to be built on this foundation. I'm telling you now. They will all be built on this foundation. And if you ain't ready for this foundation, what's under your feet? Number what? Dark water, right? And you're going to what in it? You're going to sink and drown. Because this faith is the only thing that keeps head above water. You ever had that sinking feeling? What I mean, in your body. It happens there too. It's like your heart falls into your stomach. Because it happens every time. I tell you when it happens, anytime you're scared. It's a sinking moment, isn't it? You feel like your heart ain't even there anymore. Where's my heart? You feel like it's in my belly. Yeah, because it drops. Anytime you get scared, your heart what? Oh, and you begin to shake, shiver, quiver. Feeling, all of a sudden you're feeling cold. You're feeling naked, don't know what to do. You're feeling lost, you feel alone. And you feel, mainly you feel defenseless. Because you don't have no answers. Like to shake it. It's a feeling you can't shake without the answer. That's why I say, so I will provide the remedy that Yahushua has given for that particular symptom if you ever find yourself there. And don't get it twisted. We all have tasted it. Every child, I believe, tasted fear once, at least once or twice in life. That I can honestly say. And it doesn't have to necessarily be a fear from somebody. It can just be a fear for what am I going to do? Right? Those are fears too. What am I going to do without this? Or what am I going to do without that? Those fears tend to run wild if you let them. Right? Okay. Let's go down to verse 17. He says, so therefore do my Father love me. Why does the Father love me? He said, because I lay down my life that I might take it up what? Again. See, he giving you the secret sauce. He's like, did you know that if you sacrifice your life for this faith, Yah will allow you to what? Take it up what? Again. Meaning nothing truly what? Dies. In his realm, nothing dies. That's why he's fearless in doing so. 18 says, so no man take it from me. See, he's letting you know, this is a gift of Yah. That no man can't even what? Take it from me. But I lay it down of what? Myself. Why do you think he has to lay it down of himself? To keep himself in what? Check. To make sure. See, I told you sometimes you got to check on your own self. So sometimes you got to test your faith level. Yah, matter of fact, you ain't never got to test it. Yah will. Believe me. Yah will put you through the what? Through the test. So you ain't got to worry about if do I need to test myself? No, I would tell you this now. Don't. But because just trust me, it's coming. Just know that. But when that moment comes, you better know what to do. When your faith is on the line, when that threat gets to rolling out, you best to make sure you're well grounded, or you will begin to sin. So he says, so no man take it from him, but he can lay it down of himself. And he says, and I have power to lay it down, and I have power to take it up again. This commandment have I received of my Father. So this was given to him. This is a command unto him. This is his order. See, he knew he had no way out of it. See, this is a command for him. Meaning this was spoken, but you think you greater than the master though? Because if this was spoken to him, then it also was spoken what? To you. To all of us. And that's what we're required to do, right? All right. Okay. Go to Ephesians, the book of Ephesians. Yeah, Ephesians 1, starting at verse 17. No, 15. Ephesians 1 and 15. We there? So we can understand a little bit more. Ephesians 1 and 15. We there? It says, so wherefore I also, after I heard of your faith in Yahushua, the Mashiach, and love unto all the saints, cease not to give thanks for you, making mention of you in my prayers, that the Elohim of our Lord, Yahushua Mashiach, the Father of glory, the Abba of glory, may give unto you the spirit of wisdom and revelation in the knowledge of him. So he said he wants you to be able to get this spirit of wisdom, revelation in the knowledge of him. So it's contained when Yahushua said you got to receive his what? Spirit. It's contained. And he says, because with the Spirit, 18 says, then the eyes of your understanding being enlightened, that you may know what is the hope of his calling, and what is the riches of the glory of his inheritance in the saints. So it was for you to understand this. And what is the exceeding greatness of his power to usward who believe, according to the working of his mighty power. Now you hear the word power, power, power. I will tell you now. Yah operates under one power. Yah operates under how many powers? One. But it is so strong, and strength of it is so strong, it's able to contain everything. That one power is able to contain everything. Somebody will say, well, I would love to get that power, right? And it's definitely given. Because the Son had it. All right, 20. In which he had definitely worked it in Yahushua. See, there you go. He gave him that power too, which he wrought in Yahushua. When he raised him from the dead. See, when he raised him from the dead, where did he raise him from? Amongst what type of people? There you go. Yeah, the fearful. So he raised him from amongst the dead. So now you come to find out everything dead is what? Living in what? Fear. That's what makes them unbelievers. And he set him at his own right hand in what? Heavenly places. He said he rose him what? Upward, didn't he? And then he put 21, say he was far above. See, all principalities and what? Power and might and dominion in every name that is named, not only in this world, but also in that world which is to what? Come. And have put all things under his what? Feet. See, there you go. And gave him to be head over all things to the church. And who is the church? 23, which is his body, the fullness of him that filleth all in all. Today, that's that point about the fullness of him. See, his fullness is his perfection. His perfection is what fills all things. That's why I told you, the power. That power contains what? All things. Right? And he says, with that power, he's able to what? Walk on what? Exactly. Now, that power is a great power, but you have to understand, and that's what he's trying to get you to understand. We say the eyes of your understanding will be enlightened once you receive the Spirit. Right? We're going to go over the Spirit. Now, go to Ephesians 2, starting at the beginning. And you have he quickened. This is a continuation. And you have he quickened who were dead in what? Trespasses and sins too. So he's telling you, you was once a what? Unbeliever. Stuck in what? So now you realize what you stuck in. That's why it's a drowning feeling, because you feel so what? Stuck. When you sink to the bottom, you get stuck in mud. And you can't, your feet get bottled in it and you can't kind of walk through it. Now you understand what it is that you're struggling to try to get through. The mud is what? Fear. He says, so wherein in times past you walked according to the course of this world. So he's telling you in the times past, before you received this quickening, this Spirit. Why is it quickening? Because now it's able to make you move what? Faster. Because now you ain't in that slow what? Mud anymore of what? Fears. Because you got fears of outside things, but then a lot of us have fears within called self-doubt. Then he tell Peter, why did you doubt? So that doubt wasn't from the outside. That doubt was where? From within. He said, why did you doubt? Why did you doubt who? Yourself. You can't doubt yourself in this walk. But that's still part of what? Fear. All right. He says, so wherein in times past you walked according to the course of this world. So he's telling you, you walking in it right now. He said, in times past, we used to all be like it. That's why I try to tell you, all of us had, walked it in fear. So he said, in the time past, we all walked according to the course of this world. Course. When he says course, he's talking about a school course. So this was actually the teaching of this world. So what does this world teach? Fear. There you go. Now y'all beginning to understand. And he says the course of this world according to the prince of the power of the what? Yeah. Remember we went back. When Peter was walking on water, what disturbed him? Air. That wind. That boisterous, that threatening wind. There he go. That was him. He threatened Peter. And Peter got what? Scared. Because he seen Peter walking on what? Water. And he, hold on, what you doing? He didn't like that. That devil didn't what? He didn't like it. Because he seen Peter actually operating in what? Water. Faith. What that say? I'm telling you that it's in direct correlation. Let your faith be bigger than your fear. So when he seen Peter stepping on water for the first time, actually doing it and achieving it, the devil said, I can't, no, this is no. Because so he immediately spoke. And then the threat, Peter was like, oh. And then, but Yahushua said, but why did you doubt? Even if it wasn't a necessary threat, but it was a word that made him what? Question his what? Himself. And that's when he began to what? Sink. Am I really in this thing? Am I really walking in faith? Am I? So all those thoughts hit him at one time to the point he lost focus. He began to sink. Because all those fearful thoughts came into his mind at one time, just by that wind. Because that's what you're going to get a lot of times. People going to what you call blow on you. They be like, you ever see them moving there? If you're standing at the edge, you see that big cloud say, and then that whatever on there, oh, it fall off. It's the same equivalent to that. Because what people going to try to do to you? Make you what? Make you doubt yourself. They're going to try to hit you with the fear. They're going to try. Even when they don't know they're doing it. They're going to try. To try to shake your what? Your faith. They're going to try to shake your faith. And a lot of times they're going to speak out of fear. There was another time when fear was spoken. It was Peter again when he spoke to Yahushua. When Yahushua said, I have to go be crucified, right? And then here go Peter. You ain't got to go do that. No, you ain't got to go do that. And he said, get behind me what? There you go. He was like, you ain't got to go die. So he was making them doubt his what? Because of what? Fear. The only reason why he's telling them don't go die is because he's feared that he gonna what? Die. So Peter showed what? Fear at that moment. But he had to rebuke him. Because faith can't be afraid of what? Fear. In this walk, fear is your enemy. I need you to understand it. When you are in the faith, write it down. When you are in this faith, fear is your what? So you better learn to despise it. You better learn to hate it. I'm teaching you truth. You better learn to hate it. Despise it. For some of y'all who are women, you ever had a period and you know that little whatever the mess you make that's left, you know, that right there, that's left on that rag or whatnot, that's fear. And look, you see how your face grimace at it? That's how you better treat fear. Like, get what? Away from me. Get away from me. This is nasty. This is awful. Because he shows you right here in verse 2 that this was what was taught to this world. Taught fear by those who were fearful. All right. So therefore you see. And he said, this is the spirit that now worketh in the children of what? Disobedience. So it's a spirit. Fear is a what? Spirit. That's why y'all say check the spirit that you operating in. Because you know Yahushua's spirit ain't the same, is it? It's not the same. Like a mustard seed. You say, you will say unto this mountain, ain't mountain bigger than you? You see, in all those moments, you're gonna stand before things that might appear to be greater than you, might appear to be bigger than you, might appear to be stronger than you. But by faith, all those things shall too fall before faith. I'm telling you now. Now, go to Ephesians 3:14 through 21, since we're there. Mm-hmm. Now, he's going to teach you, because I know sometimes you say, okay, well, now that we reach the point that fear is now for you, for me, for whomever that is in faith. Understand what fear is. Fear has always been what fear was. Fear is sin. Write that down. Fear is sin. Fear is what? Sin. That's why I tell you better learn to throw it away like a minister pad. Get it away from you. Get it out for you. Wipe it. Get it out for you. Because fear is sin. According to the faith. I'm going to show you that. Now, let's go down to 17. Well, 16. No, 15. I'm sorry. That's it. He said 15, of whom the whole family in heaven and earth is named. This is how they're named. This is the whole family in heaven and on earth. This is talking about the whole family tree. Listen. That he will grant you, according to the riches of his glory, to be strengthened with might by his spirit in the what? Inner man. You need this spirit of truth. We're going to talk about the spirit. That Yahushua, because he is that spirit. The spirit is who? Yahushua in you. And that Yahushua may dwell in your hearts by what? Faith. And that you being rooted and grounded in what? Because the only remedy against fear is love. See, you have to, love is stronger than what? Fear. So he didn't leave us with fear. So he gave us what? Love. Because love will conquer what? Fear. See, if I love you with all my heart, with all my mind, if I love you with everything I have in me, it's nothing to fear. There's no one to fear. What they're going to tell me? To stop loving you? And what is a threat to me at that point? Because it's not going to stop me from what? Loving you. See, that's when fear, like a smoke, vanishes. Because it's not going to stop me from loving you. That's what love is. Love has no what? That's why I say be grounded. See, that's that grounded keeps you from what? Sinking. He tells you to be grounded in what? So you got to love your people with everything in your what? In your beings. And that's what keep you from being what? Fearful. Because fear is a sin to Yah. How do you know? Because if you becoming like Yah in heaven, what you think separated you from day one? What you thought separated you from Yah? See, because he can't exist around you if you have what? Exactly. Because there is no what? There is no fear. It doesn't exist. It is a sin to be in the midst of it. So it cannot. So that's what separates Yah from the people to this day. What? Fear. When Yah come to you, what you gonna run? Or you gonna allow Yah to approach? See? Fear. It always says in the scripture, some people, when they see Yah come, oh, you see? But what do the angels say when they see Yah? Oh, there you go. Yeah, praise his name, that's about it. But we ain't what? We ain't running. We ain't taking off. We ain't ducking, dodging, and committing suicide just to try to get away from it. See, this is things that fearful people will what? Do. Ran to him. So you don't run away from Yah. Remember when Adam and Eve ate the apple? Think about it. They went and hid. When they said when Yah came through there, first thing they did what? Was go hide. And that's when he knew something was off. He said, where are you? Not that he didn't know. He's saying what has become of you since I've been gone. Because something has changed. Because I remember when I left you here, I was up, me, you, and Eve was kicking it. Then I leave and come back, and when you see me, you immediately duck under some trees and hide in some bushes. So he knew at that point, who spoke to you? There's another teacher, right? There's another teacher in the midst. Because the first thing he asked him, who told you that? It's only one teacher. That's why he said, the voice of a stranger, they cannot what? They cannot hear. The sheep will not hear it. The sheep will not hear you talk about fear all day 24/7. They ain't hearing it. Not the elect. The elect ain't hearing it. But that's what separates the elect. That's why they are Yah's sons and what? Daughters. I'm telling you. Because they are in the image of their heavenly parents. David was in the image of his heavenly parents. He had no what? So he says to be grounded in what? Love. And with this love, you may be able to now comprehend what all the rest of the elect saints represents the elect. What is the breadth, the length, the depth, the height? Talking about the measures. The measures that you're going to have to what? Prove. What are the measures? Or the measurement of what? Now, at this point, what are we talking about? Fear, ain't it? And we're talking about love. So the measurements is what? How much do you love? How much is your love bigger than your what? He said you had to comprehend it. See, that when you begin to be enlightened, you begin to see these things that, oh, that's what the other ones had to what? Endure. Job, all of them. Isaiah, Jeremiah, Yahushua, Paul, Peter. They had to what? That was the measurement. And so the question you have to ask yourself, do you measure up? You will be determined by your fear. I'm telling you now. You will be judged by your what? I'm telling you. Y'all better get it together. And we will. That's why this knowledge has to be brought out. He says, what is the measurements? And 19 says, and to know the love of what? Yahushua. Which what? Passes up what? All what? Knowledge. So whatever you think you know, you don't know. Unless you know what? Love. That you might be filled with all the fullness of who? Yah. See, so that you can become perfect as who? Yah. Okay. And 21 says, and unto him will be this glory in the church of the body. They will be just like Yahushua throughout all ages, world without end. See, that is the only world that's not going to what? End. But the rest of these worlds will come to an end. And we see why. Okay. Go to Ephesians 4, one more. So you go down. 13 says, until we all come into the unity of the faith and the knowledge of the Son of Yah. See, this is the knowledge. Unto a what? A perfect man. So how you going to be perfect? See, this is the question. Everybody talking about, how you going to be perfect? What's perfect? What does perfect mean with Yah? Perfect means walking in love without fear.
Is love and faith the
Same thing. Walking without fear. He says, and this is unto the measure. See, this is the measure of the stature of the fullness until you become what? Perfect, like Yahushua. This is going to be your measure. You're measured what? By this. So measured also means judged by this. 14, that we henceforth be no more children tossed what? To and now what's tossed to and fro? That water, remember? There go the unbelievers. You're no longer supposed to be down there with them, swimming in that kiddie pool with the rest of them who fear. We all down there just shaking. Everybody shaking. You scared? Yeah, I'm scared. You scared? I'm scared too. What about you? You scared? Yeah, I'm scared. You scared? Yeah, I'm scared too. That's what they all saying to each other. And they can touch in what? I'm scared. Like you scared. Yeah. So that's what it said. There'll be no more children, because that's a child. Sin is a child. Childish. So fear is what? Because the only time you're supposed to have fear is when you're probably that age. But when you grow up, you got to put away what? And ain't fear one of those childish things? We know it to be true. He says, so therefore, we no longer more those children tossed to and fro and carried about by every wind of doctrine. See, there you go. Remember me say that's the prince of the what? Prince of the air. I'm going to say what the air means too later, because we're going to come back to that. Prince of the air. What does that represent for us? Well, I'm going to tell you now. It represents all manners of communication. Prince of the what? Airwaves. Because he was the greatest teacher. He was the teacher that taught fear. So fear is always displayed where? On everything that can go out into the airwaves. And we all just taught what? Fear. Ain't we? From scary movies to what? And we always is broadcasting to us what? Fear. They pump it heavily on us. That's the prince of the air. I'm talking about the prince of the airwaves. You can't not read about it, not see it, not hear about it. It's just everywhere, right? Fear, fear, fear. Everyone's running, panicking about this or panicking about that. So he keeps some people tossed what? Meaning he won't let they heart what? Settle. There's no resolve. And that because of that, they're not grounded, are they? Because water doesn't ground itself, does it? Because it can easily be shaken and tossed again. He says, so we're no longer tossed to and fro by every wind. There you go, the prince speaking again, threatening. By the sleight of men and cunning craftiness, whereby they lie in wait to what? To deceive you. Because they're going to threaten you, and if you take the deal, it's going to be for your what? For your death. So it was deceiving. And he said, but speaking the truth in what? Love. Then you can grow up into him in all things, which is the head, even Yahushua. He said you're going to have to grow up into him. He's the head. You are the body. You have to grow up into him. Like a body that has to grow. He's going to always be your mind. But he needs you to what? Grow up. And he says, in this growing up, 16, the whole body will be fitted together. See, now it's nicely what? Built. The whole body will be nicely built. You ever seen somebody who was more top heavy than bottom heavy? You ever seen a person like that got like toothpick legs? And you be like, dang, like you ain't growing right. Your top part bigger than your bottom part. But when Yahushua, he gonna look, it's perfect balance. That's what he's telling you. If you don't have this love, you're not gonna have perfect balance. Because your conversation at that point, he's telling you, your conversation is hindered. No matter what you saying out your mouth, the sheep is hearing, I'm scared. That's all they're hearing out of your mouth. I'm scared. You can say, well, I need this, I need to do that. I think we gotta do this, we gotta do that. But I don't think what the lecture's saying is what? That nigga's scared. That nigga's scared. That's all they thinking out of when they looking at they probably won't say nothing. But trust me, the elect is only thinking one thing. What? Nigga, you scared. I know they scared. Right? They scared. That's all they thinking. That's what he said, because those of Yahushua, remember he said, Yahushua said it like this, he said, I know my people, and he told Pontius Pilate. He said, oh, you king? He said, yeah, I'm a king, but I ain't king of these people. That's what he said, I ain't king of these people. Why? Because they some scary folks. Exactly. I ain't king over them. No, by no means. Because they too fearful. They too scary. I can't do nothing with them. How we gonna march here or march there? And I can't do it. I'm scared. Yeah, I'm scared. Right? But even when they did say, if you were scared, go to what? Exactly. See them come meet those that ain't what? And they would teach you what? Not to be what? Exactly. That's what they told you to do. See, that was the remedy. That when they said go to church talking about the body of Yahushua. They mean those that have already been perfected by that. And you go to them and they can heal you of that symptom. Because you got to be healed from it anyway. It is a symptom. Just like catching a cold. Fear. Yeah, you sneeze it up, fear. You see, what's that? I was fear. I gotta go restroom. I got fear. Yeah, it's just fear. And so, yeah, they know when you're sick, you got fear. That's what the sickness is, fear. Right. So when you say, 100 degrees, yeah, you got fear. Get the Robitussin. Okay, so that's what he said. The body will become perfect once it understands. So he said, the effectual working in 16, making the increasing of the body unto the edifying of itself in what? Love. So it only can grow up and cleanse itself in what? Love. See, it's necessary because you can't be strengthened if you don't have this love. Right? All right. And 20 says it this. Now 18 it says, so having the understanding darkened, because they don't understand this love, they will be alienated from the life of Yah. This is verse 18. Through the ignorance that is what? In them. Because the blindness of their what? Their heart. Who being past feelings, talking about love, have given themselves over to what? Because without love, they're going to give themselves over to what? Lasciviousness, to work all uncleanliness with what? Greediness. But you have not so learned, Yahushua. Ooh, so who taught you? Well, 21 says it. If so be that you have heard him and have been what? Taught by him, as the truth is in who? Yahushua. That's for any of those people that say, well, I got my license on the back of a cereal box. No. If that's who taught you School of Hard Knocks, you ain't learned nothing. See, it is of Yahushua who does the teaching. Yahushua said, nobody ever taught anything unless they come to me first. Because I am that spirit of truth. I will teach you. That's what Yahushua said. Bring them to me, I will teach you. And when Yahushua told me that a long time ago when I was young, I was a young man growing up. And Yah told me that come out of that church. From now on, I will what? How to be a what? Exactly. I will teach you how to be a man. Because this man is well beyond an average man. Because this man, the man Yah is trying to make us out to be, is the perfect man. Not just no piece of a man, not just a cuddle buddy, but a real what? And what makes a real man a real man? No fear. Anything else is Pinocchio. Plastic. For plastic pieces and parts. That's a toy. Because if they got fear, then they plastic, meaning they are not what? They're not real. Because they don't know that they still are a hypocrite at that point. Hypocrites are those that are not real. They fake. Like that's why I call them Pinocchios. Because that's the one thing Pinocchio always wanted to be. What did he want to be? A real boy. I'm tired of this. Yeah, give me out this fake body. He wanted to be a man. But he needed to learn, nevertheless, too. Okay. Now, so that you understand, we need to understand now what is love. Go to Jeremiah 9, 22 through 26. Mm-hmm. He says 22 through 26. He says, now, Jeremiah 9, we there? He says, so speak, thus says Yah, even the carcasses of men shall fall as what? Dung. Dung represents mire or poop, or turds. He said, all these men will die like what? Fall like turds. Why do you call them turds? Or poop. Because, remember I just told you, stinking nasty. So to have fear is what? To Yah is what? You covered in what? Poop. That's how Yah look at us. So I'm telling you, that's why I say throw it away. Because when Yah look down from heaven and he see us, and the angels too that are up there, they look at us down on earth and they see that fear, they look at us like, man, that piece of... don't finish that. But you know what they was really saying. That piece of... piece of crap. Because they upset because they saying Yah done wasted all that them years, the time, the effort, the shaping of you, the molding of you, and you still lack the key foundation that would have made you real. And so to them, angels and heavenly beings, you just nothing more but a piece of what? Crap. Or a waste of what? Right. Because if you didn't understand that you had to get rid of fear, then you still a waste of what? Right. So it says, so they shall fall as dung upon the open field, and as a handful after the harvestman. See, and there's just a handful, and none shall what? Gather them. See, because this is going to be such a teaching that nobody going to want. Trust me, after today, you ain't going to even want that teaching. The teaching of what? Fear. You ain't going to even want it because he's telling you right there, ain't no one going to gather that teaching. Me, nigga, I don't want that. I don't even know. I don't want to hear it. Don't tell me nothing. I ain't got nothing to fear. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. You scared? Go to what? He says, so thus says Yah, let not the wise man glory in his wisdom. So that everybody else who think they know, that they know Yah. That's why Yah gonna tell a lot of people before I never knew you. And this is for the reasons too. Neither let mighty man glory in his might. So you ain't gonna be talking about because you smart outside of Yah and mighty glory outside of Yah. Let not the rich man glory not in his riches. Because that all those things he tell you gonna come to a what? An end. Or they're gonna fall like dung. But this is the only thing you better glory. Glory in this, that you have understood, and meaning you have been taught, and know of me. See, this is what you better understand and know who? Yah. You say you know Yah? If we say we know Yah, then this is who we must know Yah is. Let's read. For anybody say they know Yah and they have not understood that Yah is this, then they don't know Yah. He says that I am Yah, which exercise what? Loving kindness. What is loving kindness, y'all guys? Mercy. So Yah is a Yah of what? So that's why I told you. That right there is the love he's talking about. He says he's a loving and kindness. Kindness mean overlooking some things. Because of the weakness of what? Man. So Yah says in the building up of men, he know men gonna make what? Mistakes. So Yah always has reserved mercy for Israel. That's what Yah is. If you didn't know he was that, then you don't know Yah. That all elect gonna be what? Saved. And he gonna have what? Mercy on them. Will they mess up? They will from time to time, but they only mess up because they still what? Learning and growing. But they still going to become what? Perfect. That's regardless of what nobody say. They're going to become perfect. And in doing so, that's why they have been allotted grace and mercy. That Yah may oversee that they what? Grow. And that nobody stops them from what? Growing. Another thing loving mercy is for, he has allotted them the ability to now, because it has been given unto them graciously, they allowed to help someone else who might need some what? Mercy in any given situation for the sake of Israel. So they too themselves can allot some of that mercy to others. That's why y'all say love Yah with all your what? Mind, heart, body, and soul, and then love what? Yeah. So therefore, that's that same loving mercy. Don't be, in the processes of them growing, long as they are growing, long as they are seeking this perfection, Yah gonna always what? Cover them. They cover. Because you covered in what? Here we go. This is what you covered in. We know love is one, right? He said, also know me as what? You got love and kindness. What's the next one? Judgment. If you don't know Yah is of judgment, people say, you can't judge. If you don't know Yah is, believes, trusts, and loves what? Judgment, you don't know Yah. You don't know him. You say you know him, but you don't. Because Yah taught me that he does judge. And this is what he's going to judge by. What is the next one? Righteousness. You don't know that Yah is what? Righteous. So Yah believes in what? Restoring. See, that's all part of that mercy package. You got to give them mercy before you can restore them. You got to first stop the bleeding before you can apply what? A Band-Aid on, can you? Right? You can't close up the stitches until you first stop the what? The bleeding. Then you can apply what? The stitches. In the earth. For in these things, what? He even tells you, I what? I delight, says Yah. Right? So he delights in what? Mercy, forgiveness. He delights in what? Righteousness and what? And judgment. And that loving kindness is to seek out, when he said the mystery of a man leaves his mother and father and clinges to his what? In mercy. Because he knows that she is the weaker what? That's the mercy. I know you still what? Learning. Exactly. And so with that love I have for you, that I will not see you fail. I'm going to grant you as much mercy and forgiveness as you need in this process. Right? Until we all come into what? Until the two becomes what? Exactly. So all that time and while the two becoming one, that's full of what? Mercy and grace. Mercy and forgiveness and grace. Because the two are still what? Becoming what? One. So that's granted. So when you meet these brute people, you understand, no, that is not the same spirit. That is not Yah. That's not Yah. For the sake of the elect, that none shall what? Fail. Even he said, I love them. For God so loved the world, right? That he gave his only begotten son, right? And he said, I didn't come. He said, for the sake, he said, because that he wished that none shall what? Perish. Didn't he say that? I wish that none. See, that's where the mercy comes from. Because I'm giving them mercy because I don't want to see them fail. So if you don't know that's who it is, then you don't know Yah. For those who say, I know Yah, I know God, you do you. Then these are their attributes. And you can't not take not one of them out of the equation, and then that means you don't know what? You don't know Yah. Because all of this represents them as a whole character. You have to imply all of them. Love and kindness, which is what? Forgiveness and mercy and grace, right? That's goodness. Judgment, and in righteousness. So that love and kindness, it's funny how these three are right there. Because I've seen these three before, but in a different version. I'm going to show you. So look at the bottom of this list in 26. See the different people who y'all got a problem with. Look, who's first 26? He said, behold, the day says Yah that I will punish all them which are circumcised with the what? Uncircumcision. So to be uncircumcised is not to know who? Not to know Yah. And you dwelling in what? Because you don't know Yah, what are you operating in? Sin. And what is sin? I just showed you. What is the word we're using today? Fear. Operating in fear. And he gives 26. Look at the list. Let's see who's operating in fear. Who? 26 is who? Egypt, Judah, Edom, children of Ammon, Moab, all that are in the uttermost corners that dwell in the wilderness. For all these nations are what? Uncircumcised by fear. And all the house of Israel are uncircumcised in the what? The heart. Because in the heart resides what? Love. So it starts there. Right? He said, I put my word where? Exactly. Go ahead. No, that's Judah. That's the people of Yah. Judah. Big Judah. One of the 12 sons of Jacob. Why? Because but he's going to have mercy on Judah. But he's saying that all Israel what? All Israel what? That's why he said that right there. So he's talking about for the rebellious and disobedient ones of Judah, who are now operating in full what? Fear. How you know they're operating in full fear? When they always come on TVs in their ways and say they scared in so many words. Man, y'all best to respect Egypt. Man, y'all better respect them Jews. What they tell you. Y'all better respect these white people. Yeah, the coons, that's what he's talking about. That's Judah. Them coons. Yeah, do what they say. I gotta live here, you don't. Who say that day? That was funny because Craig never showed that he was ever scared of nothing in Friday, but it was always day that it was what? Yeah. And he used to always look at him, his cousin crazy, like, bro, you really? Remember I told you that's how the leg look at you, right? He never would tell Day that, but he was always just looking every time Day spoke, right? He just looking at Day like, okay. So what do you think he's saying if he wasn't elect? What he's saying? I know that's my cousin and all, but that nigga what? He's scary. See, that's what he was saying. He wasn't never tell him that, but in his heart, right? He's like, yeah, I hear you. When you tell him, I got live, you don't. So he's like, I hear you, right? But all the while, he's looking at, I always said, the sheep don't listen to their what? To their voice. Did he ever listen to that about doing anything? He would hear him. He's like, I hear you. But I'm supposed to go do this because this is, out of what? No fear. I know what I can do. Right. And then one day they see him do it, he's like, see, I told you, that's why you my cousin, right there. That's why you my big cousin. Because you wasn't scared. Exactly. All right. Where we at? Okay, so go to John 16. Yeah, John 16. All right. Start at verse 7. He said, nevertheless, I tell you the truth. It is expedient for you that I go away. This is Yahushua speaking to his disciples and for those men that will be believers in these last days. He said, it is expedient. Expedient means it is very profitable and quickly being profitable, expedient, that I go away. For if I go not away, the Comforter will not come unto you. But if I depart, I will send him unto you. Comforter. Notice, comforter means what? To be comforted in what? In dire situations. So what is the comfort then? So that you comforted with? It's like a blanket, like what he has on now. It covers you. And it keeps you from being what? Cold. It also keeps you from feeling alone sometimes. Keeps you warm. But most of all, it girds you up, don't it? So if anything, the comforter was actually what? To teach you not to be what? Fearful. Saying, I got you. That's what the comforting is. Simmer down. I got you. I know you want to be shaken, but guess what? Be what? Be still. Fear not. That's why he called it the what? The comfort. Comfort you in the moments when you would have much rather have been fearful. He said, so not come unto you, but if I depart, I will send him unto you. And he said that was his what? His spirit. Because he didn't have what type of spirit? He didn't have no scary spirit. That's what he tried to tell you. Now listen. He says, and when he is come, he will what? 8 says he will what? He will reprove the world of what? And what? And what? Didn't we just read that? But the first soul, he got judgment still there, and he got righteousness still there. But what word was replaced? With what? Loving kindness. So, when you love has no what?
No sin.
And so what is sin?
Fear.
There you go.
It has no fear.
So that's what he's telling you. If you found not having love, then you found having what? Fear. And if you found having fear, that is what? Sin. So that's what he was telling you. When that spirit comes, it's going to check you up and down to see if you have what in you. How they used to say it, I don't have not a scary what? Bone in my body. And that has to be what? True. It has to be true. It has to be one of the truest statements you ever gonna utter. Because he says at that point, that's what? Sin. Why sin? Because fear makes you do some pretty what? Crazy things. And that's what he's telling you. It's only going to lead to your what? Your death. Because of you're so afraid of Yah, you will run from the truth. And you will run to the what? To the lie that's going to what? Get you what?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the only reason why you ran from the truth because you what? You feared it. Now, so what is truth? Huh? Truth is what? Yeah, truth will result to life. But truth is what now? Love. Love is truth. The truth is what? That's why he said you don't know Yah. You don't know the truth if you don't know what? Love. You don't know it. That's why he said, my spirit is not in every man. And now you can clearly see, yeah, he ain't lying. Because he said, I never knew you. And he said, some people can't receive my what? Spirit. Didn't he say that? Not in every man is my spirit. Because his spirit is a spirit that doesn't what? It doesn't fear. It's not fearful. Because the reason why it doesn't fear, not because he's saying, it's not because he's full of muscles, not because he's full of nothing, not because he was 100 feet tall that he didn't have to fear. That's why y'all say, Yahushua said, don't even make me in those images. I don't even want to be in those images. When Yahushua said, when he wanted to be born into the earth, actually he told y'all, make me in the most ugliest form you want to make me in. Why? Why do you think? So that he wouldn't what? Why he didn't ask y'all, man, let me go to earth with a bunch of muscles. Let me go to earth with a bunch of beauty. Why do you think he didn't ask for those things when he came into the earth, was born? Because he didn't want to trust in those things. He didn't want to put his trust in those things because those things become what? Sin. So he says, now, only put in me the only thing that I can trust in. And what it was, we found out it was love. Just give me love. He said a man will leave his mother and father and what? Cleanse to his what? There you go. In what? Love. He said, give me that. And I will reach my wife. I will reach the bride. I will reach you. I will reach my people. Because that's the only voice they can hear is what? Love. The sheep can't hear nothing else. The bride don't understand nothing else. The true bride of Yahushua doesn't understand nothing else but that conversation. A love conversation, love that lacks all fear. That's the only thing they can hear. That's the voice of Yahushua. They can receive that. If you're going to love me unconditionally, I can receive that. Not because of what I have, not because of what I don't have, but if you can love me what? Unconditionally. That I can receive. That's what Yah is to us. That's what the mercy comes from. The forgiveness comes from. Right? Husbands, love your wife as the what? The weaker what? The weaker vessel. So love them unconditionally. Love them. Because you know that they might not know everything. But you got to teach them not to have what? Exactly. Because they learn it from who? Think about it. It's really kind of obvious, ain't it? Who teaches the household not to have fear? Isn't it not the man of the house? So that was one of his teachings that he should have always taught. That was his duty as a man. See, woman has that loving kindness. She has that caring spirit. But man has that brave spirit. But one can't have the other, right? They both need each other. That's why he separated it within the two. He gave her the caring, and he gave him the bravery. But two had to become what? And if that bravery equals what? Loving and what? And kindness and caring. Meaning, I cannot fear to love you. I can't say, what if she don't love me back? Because that's what?
Yeah.
That's fear. What if I give him my all? Will he still what? That's what? That's fear. So we can't fear it. We just gotta what? Give our what? There you go. In love. That's it. That's what he's telling you. And in that, it kills all what? Fear. It kills all fear. I can't fear to love you and thinking that if I love you, you might not receive my love. So I have to open completely what? Up. I can't hold what? Can't hold love what? Back. Can't hold love back. You got to give it in full confidence, in full bravery, having no fear when you love. That's who Yah is. Full confidence, full love, with not what? No fear. I can't fear what is going to become of you if I love you without my heart. See, love has no what? Fear. I can't fear, well, if I love you, you might turn on me later. You might change on me later. I can't worry about those things, can I? Not in love. Love, you just gotta what? You just gotta love. And you gotta put your all into it and don't halfway do it. Don't piece of the way do it. Because any piece you holding back is what? Fear. That's fear. And love has no what? Love has no fear. So we know that that's the spirit of truth. So he's going to reprove the word. So it's a sin to have what in you? Fear. And of righteousness and of judgment, which we just read. Of sin, why? Because they don't what? Believe. See? Unbeliever has what? Fear. That's why Yah says that's sin to have fear. Why? Because love says this. I have to trust you. I have to what? I have to trust the love I have for you. I have to trust it. I can't hold back in love. I got to give you the whole thing. And I can't talk myself out of it. You know what I'm saying? I can't run from it. You know, sometimes we get to fall in love and we get so loved that we get afraid of it, don't we? And then we want to back out of it. Nah, this I don't know. I don't know about this. What if they don't like me? What if they don't love me back? What if, and all the what ifs. They love me not. That's fear. Just love. And see what the end gonna what? What the end gonna be. That's all. That is it. That is your reasonable service. Is to love and just see what the end gonna be. And love without what? Fear. That's what I'm telling you. For as many times as they mess up, when y'all get married and with husbands and wives, for as many times, man, just forgive them. Keep it moving. Let it go. Don't be hard on them. They're not perfect, are they? And you had to grow yourself, right? You made mistakes. You trust me. I always say he gave you what? Mercy and what? Grace, didn't he? Had forgiveness for you while you was growing up. So you have to learn the first shall be what? And the last what? Shall be first. So you got to learn to treat them first. And put yourself what? With all your love I'm talking about. Don't be afraid to love them. Don't be afraid to love Israel. Okay? Because they listening and they looking for it. Do not be afraid to love Israel with all your what? There you go. Don't be afraid. And say, well, they ain't going to never get it, or I'm going to hold back. No, just love them anyway. And just see what it's going to be. Right? All right. And that's also called the spirit of truth. Because the truth is what? Love. That you must love. A lot of people run from that because they don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear about no love. What you talking about? But he reproved the sin of fear to non-believers because non-believers have fear. He says, of righteousness now, because I go to the Father, you see me no more, meaning he was restored. And you can't see him. You've been blinded. Of judgment, because the prince of this world is what? Judge. So who's the prince? The prince of the what? The air, remember? The one who taught what? Fear. The one who taught fear. You're not supposed to teach what? Exactly. So don't teach fear. That's why he said the prince of this world will be judged because the prince taught what? Fear to the people. You gotta fear me. You gotta fear me. You gotta fear me. You over there. Fear me. Be scared of me. Look upon me. Be scared. Be big scared. Now go to Romans 8. But you, like I said, you just can't be afraid to love Israel. Don't tell yourself, well, they might not love me back. Don't tell yourself, oh, maybe what if I break a leg or what if I lose an arm? Will they still? You know what I'm talking about? You can't think because that's all that is what? That's fear. You just gotta love them. You just gotta open up and just love them. Just pour it all and say, you know what? I'm just gonna close my eyes and pour it all. You know, this is this is me. Take off the mask. Take off the representative of you. And just be what?
You.
Be you. Stop being afraid to love that person. Because Israel, that's the only thing they can accept. Is pure what? Love. Pure. Pure means without what? Fear. Now you understand what pure means. Without what?
Fear.
That's the only thing that makes it pure is when it's done with a sincerity without no what? Fear involved. You gotta love them. You have to love your wives, your husbands. You gotta love them without no fear. You can't be afraid to love them. Even when you discipline them, that's still love. You can't be afraid to what? Discipline them in what?
Love.
In love. See what I'm talking about? You can't be afraid. Because that fear right there, they see it. They recognize it. You can't live like that. You can't walk in this faith and walk with fear and still say you in this faith. Because you toss to and fro. You doubtful. But everything that is done in love is acceptable by Yah. Long as it is done with a what type of love? A pure love. Because Yah cannot stand a hypocrite. A hypocrite is one who say they love, but they never what? They never truly do it, do they? They never truly give their all to anything, do they? That's what a hypocrite means. They have one foot in what? That's what a hypocrite is. They never fully, always on the fence. Afraid to what? Commit. And that's what it is. Afraid to what? Afraid. That's why y'all say I throw you back in what? In the water. But all the rest of them, that's unbelievers. I spew you out of my mouth, Yah says, if you won't commit. Commit to this faith. But know this faith is going to require a level of what? Love. Love is what are able to walk on water. Love removes mountains. Love is able to conquer all. But you can only do so without fear, because that's what love does for a person. If you love a person so much, you ain't even running from a gun, a bullet. Look, no, I love them. And ain't nothing gonna what? Take me from that what? From that love. Nothing. Nobody. No amount of money. No, nothing. So Romans 8. Now, therefore, there is no condemnation to them which are in Yahushua, who walk not after the flesh, because the flesh is what? Scary. But after the what?
Spirit.
Yeah, y'all getting it? See, for the law of the spirit of life in Yahushua has made us free from the law of what? Sin. And so fear and what? Death. See, that's what it was. So that's what on the water. That's why they could never rise above that ceiling. While Yahushua's walking on water, some people could never get out of the what? Because of fear and what? Death. And what did they fear? Death. Exactly. Oh, it's going to come get me. For what the law could not do, in that it was what? Weak. Through the what? Flesh, because weak means it's afraid. So he said, because it's afraid, so Yah sent his own son in the likeness of sinful flesh, of fearful flesh, meaning he said, if I say, he didn't ask Yah, make me full of muscles, give me an Iron Man suit when I go down there. No, he says, no, make me like a man. Don't make me no angel. Don't give me no armor. So my body can be fully what? Exposed. Exposed to what? All the hurtful things of the world. So let them come as they what? May. But he was not what? Afraid. Because some of us, we move with that type of fear. Because we know we so exposed and we looking like Adam and Eve when they bit the apple, they thought I'm naked. I need to be what? Covered. So they start looking for what can protect them. From who? So now life, everyone running around here out here trying to scramble for things to protect themselves. But only protection you ever needed was what? Love. You love, you expose yourself. That's what sacrifice means. You should not have a two-sidedness to nobody. You know what I'm saying? I can't talk to you but have a secondary thought within my mind. Even right now, if I'm talking about this word, this should be my undivided what? Attention. It should not be no secondary thought going on in my mind as I'm even having this conversation with you. Because that's fear. I can't tell you I love you, but if you do something, or I say I love you, but I'm still on the fence about this. That's not true what? Because either you in or you what? But you can't play the fence when it comes to this faith. Because y'all would just still scoot you over to the unbeliever zone. Which those that was under the water. That's why they could never get out of that mindset of fear. They couldn't never break them. They couldn't shake themselves up. I always went, what we gonna do? What we gonna do? What we gonna do? I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared. Oh, you scared me. Oh, you scared me. Right? They couldn't shake themselves up. So we say toss to and what? Right? But those that walk in love, like Moses who loved Israel, they'll stand up to Pharaoh for the sake of what? Israel. Because he loves them. Right? That's the love. Like Yahushua will stand up to anybody for the sake of those disciples. Remember that? Afraid for what? So, that's the law of sin and death. That's what the prince of the air had us under. Every day you're getting blasted every day with that wind of fear. Just turn your TV on, look through your phones, look through your medias, and you will see that's all they pumping and promoting. To the point sometimes I just want to cut it off, right? Sometimes I know, that's why I've been cut mine off, because I got tired of hearing all this, the news always saying negative things. You know, you hear everybody's talking about somebody dying, somebody's gonna come through, this gonna happen, that's gonna happen, this one running over here, this one running over there, what we gonna do? So I put it down and I had to pick up Yah. And Yah says, I got you. That's the comfort. I was comforted by his words. That everything was gonna be what? If I just walk by what? Faith. And I walked in righteousness. If I do what he told me to do, I will be fine. But you can't do righteousness, that's the thing. Righteousness is a covering. But love is the undergarment. Exactly. So you can't even put on the armor on the outside, which is righteousness, if you ain't got love on the what? Inside. That has to come first. That's the foundational piece. Because you can do all that other stuff, but then if you ain't got no love for it, that means what? Nothing. Stop it, man. All right. So that's what he says. So he sent his own son so that he can come in that type of body too, and for sin, and he condemned sin in the what? the flesh. He condemned it. He said, man, I see what it is. When he came in the body, he was able to see where we was falling short at. That's what he's saying. When Yahushua came to the earth as being a son of Yah, he was able to see where humans were falling what? Short at. He said, dang, now that I'm here in this body, I see now what it is. Everyone scared. Everyone's scared. Everyone's fearing. Everyone has fear. He says this. Let's skip down. 8. He says, so then they that are under flesh cannot please who? Yah. See, those that are in fear. He said, but you are not in the fear, but in the what? Spirit. If so be that the spirit of Yah will dwell in you. That's Yahushua. Now, if any man have not the spirit of Yahushua, he is none of his. That's Sebastian. Because he said, not ever all of us have the what? The spirit. And if Yahushua be in you, let you know that's who it is in you, that it doesn't fear. It is Yahushua. He's the man in you. Same way a woman, he's the man in you. Meaning that point, like if your baby was going to jump into the ocean, what's the first thing a mother gonna do? There you go. You see, and she ain't thinking about what? Nothing else, because that love took over her what? Fear. That love took over her what? Her fear. You see how it works? That love took over the fear. She might not even knew how to swim, but she seen her baby go overboard, and she knew, here I come. Because you ain't dying on my watch. Because I love you what? That much. See that sacrifice right there? That's the sacrifice he's saying. That's all that is required. That's the love he's talking about. That has no fear, did it? At that moment, what was the fear? Gone. Only thing she feared at that moment was the life of what? That one. That was she was fear losing that life. In return, she didn't care about what? Her life. She cared about that life. See, that's the love Yah says. When he says love one another as Yah would what? Love you. That's what he's saying. When you learn to live like that, when you learn how to pour everything you have into, invest into one another, when you start learning how to love them like that, trust me, fear goes away. Because what fear? See, I can't be afraid to love. You know what I mean? I can't be afraid to say, I don't know, I don't think she, how did we plucking that flower out? She loves me what? She loves me not. Yeah, no, I can't be worried about all that. I need to what? Just pour my love what? Into it and just say, you know what? I don't care what it's going to, I love you. That's what I know. That's it. I love you with all my heart, body. Yeah, that's it. And let it be. And you rest on that. And stop worrying about the other stuff, because you can't control that anyway, can you? You can't control those things. You just know that you did faithful. You was faithful. You poured all yours into it. That's what, see, I see the word faithful comes back to play. That's what faith is. Faithful. I poured all mine, so I did what I had to do. I loved you with all my what? Mind, heart, what? Body and what? And soul. I poured it out. Whether you received it or what? Or not. But I'm confident afterwards that I know that even if that person might not reward me, I know what? Y'all will. Because y'all saw everything. And y'all know that it was true and that it was what? Genuine, and I didn't hold back not one punch. But I love with everything I had. Right? That's what love is. Love is like a great fight. You gotta love without, you ever had a good scrappy fight?
Well, it's just that you got to pour everything into it. Yeah, that's how love is. You have to pour it all into it. Even when you tired, I ain't got no more, but I ain't giving up on you. I get back in there, right? You know, that's how that love has to be. It has to be like that, right? I really want to let it go, but I'm not giving up on you. And you get back in there like a boxer getting ready for the next round, right? You get into the 12th round, they're like, man, you tired? Mike Tyson like, I'm tired, but I gotta get back and get my glove, get my mouthpiece. Come on. I'm not giving up, right? Right. Yeah, he said he poured out the water, right? He was like, I'm not going to drink it. It's just like the blood of my people. No, they wouldn't risk their lives for me. How I look like as a king and won't risk my what? For them. So he poured the water out. I said, I'm not, if they thirsty, I'm going to be thirsty what? Too. We're going to roll this together. And when we do sit down and drink, we all going to what? Have a drink. See, that's love. And trust me, when they seen that, that made them fight harder. Because they knew they had a true king with them. That really what? Not just out there with them, but really what? Loved them. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. You fought hard. So love, you're going to have to fight hard for love. Because the devil fighting you back. That's why he said that terrible wind, right? He going to fight hard too. The devil ain't going to just let it be. You know that. Devil, that's why he tried to blow on Peter, right? Oh, Peter, you trying to walk in love. Make you hurt and blow you down. Let me stop that. But what? Peter had to what? Yahushua had to show him. You got to get up. Continue on. That's why he said Yahushua grabbed him by his arm and what? Pulled him back up. See, because Yahushua can do that. He can still have mercy and grace and forgiveness, even when you mess up, and still pull you back into the fight and say, no, you get up. I got you. Not going to let you what? Go. That's the same love Yahushua has for Peter. He didn't let him go, right? Yahushua about to fall into fear. You're like, no, I got you. See, at that point, right? Because now he risking his own self being dragged under, but he willing to what? Reach below to pull his what? Peter out of it. So you have to do that. That love makes a lot of people snap out of it. It really does. That type of love make a lot of people. That's why I say that's the healing power. I get it. Because a lot of people will snap out of whatever they're in if they see and recognize that type of love. And be like, I get it. Right? All right. So listen, let's read. He says, so that in the flesh cannot please Yah, but you are not in the flesh. He said, you are none of his. 10. And if you should be in you, the body is dead because of what? Sin. See, it's fear. Your body, see, that. So that's what he's telling you to kill. That what? That's the resurrection. See, that first body is made of what? Sin. Meaning what? You had to kill that body in order for the new man to what? To emerge. Now you see what you have to kill. You gotta kill it. Because then if you don't kill it, you still that old person. You just still that's what makes it old and dirty and filthy. Yah was not pleased with them in the wilderness when he told them to go take the promised land, and then they was something. But they got giants over there, and that's when Yah said, you know what? I can't stand a what? A fearful what? Person. Don't you think I'm going to give you the victory? Have I ever sent you out there and set you up for failure? So if I tell you to do it without no what? Fear. Because I got you. That's what he told Peter, didn't he? Why you doubt? I told you can what? You can walk on water and you begin to do it. So why did you doubt afterwards? Why did you doubt who? Yahushua. Why did you doubt the teaching? You had done it. Don't doubt the food that you've been given. If you've been given that truth, you eat it. You receive it. You swallow it down. Trust me, it's going to come back sweet anyway when you get a hold of it. Well, it's better to live not in fear than to live in what? Fear all my life. You're going to realize that's the old man. That is the old man. I'm telling you what I know. The new man doesn't have fear. Just don't. Can't do it. As much as people try to make him do it, it's just like, what am I doing? I can't comprehend that. The spirit don't resonate with that. Right? All right. So that's why he says, anybody don't got the spirit, it's none of Yah's, because Yah doesn't walk in fear. So he doesn't teach man to walk in what? Fear. So you can't teach it. Trust me, don't even teach it. But if you want to, I just ain't gonna say nothing. Trust me, just let it be, because you don't want to disrupt that spirit. He said, but if the spirit of him that raised up Yahushua from the dead dwell in you, he that raised up Yahushua from the dead shall also quicken your what? Mortal bodies by his spirit that dwelleth in you. Therefore, brethren, you are no longer debtors to the flesh or fear to live after the fear. If you live after fear, meaning if you do what fear tell you to do, you shall what? Die. But if you through the spirit do mortify the deeds of, see, if you kill fear, you shall what? Live. For as many are led by the spirit of Yah, see, these are the sons and daughters of what? Yah. For we not, this how you gonna know he was talking about fear. For anybody who questioned, no, he's not talking about fear right there. You just had to read this next one. He said, for you have not received the spirit of bondage again to what?
Fear.
So he's telling you, you did not receive this spirit again to what? Not to fear. He's telling you, you have become a slave to what? Fear. He said, you did not receive the spirit of bondage again to be, you mean yoked back again to who? Fear. You're not going back to serve it again. Not after you come out of. When you snapped out of it through the spirit, Yah is not telling you that you cannot go back into it again. He says, we have not received the spirit of bondage again to fear. To fear. Meaning we haven't been given back to fear. Like, fear you my daddy, what you want me to do? No. You fear, because fear is what keeps you under. That's underwater, if you didn't understand by now what that means. You're drowning. So he didn't give you the spirit of bondage. Bondage means as a slave again to what? To fear. I'm not giving you back over to the prince of fear. That's a spirit who controls all these people of the earth. All the heathens are under the spirit of what? Fear. I'm telling you now. As soon as they feel fear, they begin to want to react, don't they? I'll tell you the truth. Sometimes I just look at a person and they be ready to, hey, what you going? What you doing? But they don't even know it. Like when that police walked into the lady house and just shot her. She wasn't doing how much, she had boiling water. That was what? That was fear. It wasn't, he was just, fear overcame him. So that's what he means. You are a slave to fear. We are not supposed to be slaves to what? Fear. All right. Watch this here. But you have received the spirit of what? Adoption. So you're not no longer under that. So now this adoption puts you where? Whereby we cry what? Abba, Father. Now, this is the secret sauce on this one. He's telling you now, whenever cry means pray. That's what he say, fasting and what? Praying. He says, so when you fasting in this faith of love, whenever you start having that little fear, start trying to raise itself back up, you need to do what? You need to pray. That's what the cry, Abba, Father, like. And you don't have to do it in front of nobody, because that's the whole point. All of this is behind the scenes. This is behind the scenes. So no one knows. But in front of everybody, you better not, that's what fasting is. In front of people, you best be what? Fasting. Meaning stiff. But behind the scenes, if you have any fear, you need to what? Not to people, You got to pray that the one that can get that off of you. If you ever feel like, man, please, y'all get that off me because I know I'm not supposed to have it. I know I'm not supposed to have it. You told me this, and forgive me for it. Get rid of it. Help me get rid of it, even if need be. Now, because when you ask a prayer like that to help you get rid of it, Yah will help you what? But it's going to take a testing moment for you to what? Which I know a lot of us don't be ready for. But it's the only way to get what? Is to put you against the what? The light. See, that's when you ask for him to take it from you, he's going to put you up against something that will force you to what? Not have no what? Don't force it out of you. You don't just sleep it out. That ain't how it works with y'all. You know, some of us think, if I pray, he's going to do this and do that, and I just go to sleep and wake up, it's going to be gone. I ain't going to lie to you. That ain't how it works. You're actually going to be put in a situation where you got no choice. And you best be found holding your ground. That's the truth. And when I mean holding your ground, I'm not talking about being, because I think this gets lost in the shuffle too. The key I want you to remember when I talk about no fear, it's only one way you can prove that you have no fear, and that is in what? Love. So it's love that should be on display. Sometimes that love looks like it's angry, but that love is not angry. That love is only like, you best bag out because this one is what? Learning. This one is growing. And you will not what? Stop that. So that for another person, they get back because they're like, oh, right? Because one thing, the spirit, what? It can't take no what? No foolishness. Not in the middle of what? Not in the middle of learning. See, that type of love, yeah, that spirit goes off. Like bag back. Because you will not stop this child from what? Remember he said a man leaves his mother and father in what? So when he say cleanse, that's what he means. Bag back. Not in the middle of them learning. You want to play on your own time. But in the process of love, that's what they call learning is still love. In the processes of love, love is stronger than what? Fear. So at that moment, back. Or be beautifully broken, like they would say. Because you can't come between what? Love. Nothing is supposed to come between love. Or get his head cut off. That's how they would see it. All right? So that's what he says. For many are led by the Spirit, these are the sons of Yah, and they cry, Abba, Father, whenever they are in danger. They what? They pray. And the Spirit itself will bear witness with our spirit that we are the children of what? Yeah, how he said it, because you're going to have that what? That fearless what? Spirit. He's telling you why, how you would know they had it. Because they would have a what type of spirit? Mustard seed. Right? And if children, then hearers of Yah, and joint hearers with Yahushua. If so be we suffer with him, that we may be what? Glorified with him. So he's telling you it's going to come with a little suffering because they're going to try you, right? Of course. But they just have to test that what in you? That spirit to make sure that you still ain't what? You ain't scary. They got how you actually going to know. But skip down to 28. It says, and you know that all things will not what? Work together for good to them that love Yah and to them that are called according to his purpose. Right? For whom he did foreknow, he also did predestinate to be conformed to the image of his son. See, you have to become like the son what? Anyway, outwardly. Not just inwardly, but what? It has to be a full display that you walking as the son. Because the son will be walking with no fear. And he will also be what? Called and justified, meaning who gonna condemn him? No one will. And then he will be glorified. And he says, 31, so what shall we then say to these things? If Yah be for us, what? Who? There you go. See, that's that feeling's gone. I don't need, who wants some? And he said 32 said, he that spared not his own son, so he sacrificed his own son, but delivered him up for us all. How shall he not with him also freely give us what? All things in prayer. So we know if we walk in righteousness, we ain't got nothing to what? Fear. And that means if we do need something, all we have to do is what? Pray. And y'all gonna answer those prayers because you walking in what? Righteousness in what? Love. And those walking with those things, y'all will always bless you because that love is the strongest power, period. Watch this here. And so that's why he begins to say, 34. Now, who is he that going to condemn now? I mean, who going to get between this? It is Yahushua that died, rather that is risen again, who is even at the right hand of Yah, who also maketh what? Intercession for us. What does intercession mean? Provider. He makes the provides for you, and he gives you everything he knows that your soul what? Needs. So he meant if you need to be strengthened in fear, he gonna have to do something to make you what? Less fearful. So what the Spirit does, I'm telling you how the Spirit works within you. It always looking to find in your body any what? Sin. It's looking for it. I ain't gonna lie, the Spirit just goes in your body like a helicopter with a spotlight, just looking around to see if he can spot fear. And if he does, he's gonna go straight to it. Like a magnet ready to attack. And he's gonna attack that fear in you. Until it what? Comes out of you. Because in your body cannot dwell two what? Masters. It can't. You can't have two spirits. So they go at it. That way when you start off reading, he said the spirit and they fight what? They lust after one. They're not gonna let the other dwell. It's either gonna be you, or you're gonna be no fear, or you're gonna what? Be in fear. One or the other. It's two teachers, but only one you can have at a time. He says, so then who is condemned? It is, making it 35. Who shall separate us from the what? Love of what? See, now there you go. There you go. Now who gonna separate us? I mean, who gonna get between this love? If I'm teaching you, who gonna knock on this door and stop that? Who gonna break it up? Who gonna mess it up? Who? Shall tribulation? Now he begins to name things that he know are bigger than you. Shall tribulation stop it? What about distress? It can't stop love. Persecution can't stop love. Famine. I mean, we're running out of food. Right? But let's stop what? Love. Or nakedness. Or what? Perils. Threats they talking about. Or what? Sword. Talking about war. As it is written, for thy sake we are killed all the day long. See, we always have to be sacrificed. We are counted as what? Sheep for the what? Slaughter. But nay, in all these things we are more than what? Conquerors through him that love us. For I am persuaded that neither death, nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor powers, nor things present, nor things to come, nor height, nor depth, nor any creature shall be able to separate us from the love of what? Yah, which is in Yahushua Mashiach. You see that? That love is stronger than all those things that try to interfere. Love would not let it. All right. And he nailed those things to the cross. When he was crucified on the cross, he nailed fear to the what? I'm going to have to show you what that means too. So he definitely removed your fear. And he nailed it to the what? Because the cross represented your weakness. He nailed it to your weakness. Saying your weakness will be what? Fear. Okay. First Corinthians 13. 1 Corinthians 13. Listen. He said, though I speak with tongues of men and angels, and I have not love. Charity means what? Love. Giving your all. That's what charity is. It's a donation, ain't it? But you're donating yourself at this point. You're donating your love. So it's really love, the word. He says, I have become, if I don't, he said, let's read it start to go. He said, though I speak with the tongue of men and angels, and I have not love, I have become a what? A sounding brass or just a tinkling cymbal, meaning those are in drums, and they had this the little they call those things cymbals. And you know, if you don't hit them right, they just make a terrible. If you don't tune them right, they terrible when they crash. So he's telling you, if I have not love in me, I have become just a nasty sound, meaning there's no harmony within what I'm talking about. And though I have the gift of prophecy, and I understand all mysteries, and all knowledge, and though I have all faith, so that I can remove mountains, but I have not love, I am what? Where's love? What I'm talking about when you wear it, how is it worn?
Oh, inside.
So it's an under what?
Undergarment.
Remember I told you it's an undergarment. So see, these things he's reading are on the outside. See, like armor pieces. Understanding all mystery, that's just like an armor piece. Knowledge, another armor piece. Faith, another armor piece. But underneath all that, you can do all that, but if you ain't got no love within all of those things, you see, it means what? Nothing. That's what he's telling you. Because love is the undergarment before you put on any other piece of armor. Wear your drawers. Right. Right. That's your undergarment. So love is the undergarment of it all. None of the armor can work without what? Love. You can get in an Iron Man suit, but it's powered by what? Love. And if you ain't got no love, the suit ain't finna do what? Nothing. He says, and though I bestowed my body to be burned, my goods I gave it to the poor, and have not love, it profit me what? Nothing. Love, and he's gonna explain what love does. Love what? Suffer it long. Remember I told you, because it has mercy and what? Long suffering. It's saying I'm not gonna what? Give up on you. And it's kind. Kind is what? Mercy. Forgiveness. Love is what? It envies not. So it ain't love, I ain't jealous. See, sometimes we let envy stop us from doing things too, but envy is still fear too. Because when you fear, I envy you because I believe you better than me. But if there is, so be it. What does it mean to you? Does it you supposed to stop loving them because you think they might? What is the love supposed to do to them? Make them better? Duh. That's what it was for. So love also doesn't vaunt not itself. So it doesn't walk in pride. It doesn't promote itself against the truth. So I'm talking about, this is self-promotion. This is what? Self-righteous. Is not what? Puffed up. The love does not behave itself what? Unseemly. That means it don't change. Because your eyes are the same what? Yesterday, today. See, love doesn't what? It don't change. So I can't say I love you today, but then I hate you what? That's what he's saying. If you say if I love you every day for the remainder of my time. You know, you be mad at me today, but I still what? I still love you. And I ain't giving up on you. Even if you what? Give up what? Exactly. But I would never give up what? On you. That's what Yah is to us. Would never. And we got to be like that what? Towards each other. If you say you what? Exactly. So love seeketh not her own. See? It ain't selfish. Love ain't selfish because love cannot be selfish. It's impossible to say you love, but you only think about me, me, me. You have to realize that love is sacrificing yourself what? For them. You got to pour all your love into it. You have to invest your love into it. That is a requirement. Why? That's why he give you people. That's why you think he give you what they call loved what? Ones. Those that need to be what? Loved. And you best be pouring out all your what? Love on them. You best be. It's not easily what? Provoked. Provoke means brute. They become, now they want to what? That's the one, now they love you today, but now they what? Now they trying to kill you, you're trying to run you over with a car, now they... I hate that. Huh? That's how you saw us. But they think no evil. See, they'll never, love will never one day sit back and just imagine some evil on you. Like imagine you getting hit by a car, like, I don't see that in the day. You know, but at first, I wish the best one. Now it's, when he gonna be out my way? Right? Now you thinking evil. And you trying to figure out what ways you can use to, that mean because you have turned. Rejoice not in iniquity, but rejoiceth in what? The truth. The truth is love. Beareth all things, believeth all things. Hope what? Endureth what? See, all things that he endured was all those other things I just told you that was coming at it, trying to make it stop loving. But it was like, the devil wanted Yah to stop loving Adam and Eve. So that's why he calls him the greatest what? Accuser. Because he's always trying to get Yah to what? Kill what? Israel. Always trying. Why you love them anyway? Why you care about man? What you worried about them for? Let them go. Ain't no good for you. They ain't gonna do nothing anyway. Give up on them. But the love of Yah would not what? He'll never do it. That's why Moses always say, Yah, for your name's sake, right? And Yah say, yeah, you right. Because I was just about to, but yeah, you right. You right. I still get my babies. My babies. See, because love never what? Faileth, verse 8. But whether there be what? Prophecies, they shall what? Fail. Whether there be tongues, they shall what? Cease. Whether there be knowledge, it shall what? Vanish away. For we know in part. See? Telling you that's part means error. For we know in part. Meaning we know only half the story. See? That's the part. But the devil speaks in what? Partly. He don't never tell the full what? See, the full truth is you got to love him. You have to love Israel with all your heart. But the devil doesn't teach that. The devil teaches the opposite of love, which is what? Fear. Exactly. Listen. But whether that be, but they say, for we know in part and we prophesy in part in those that are error. Because now he's telling you that the first man had a teacher, right? Who was the teacher? The devil. And what did the devil teach us? Fear. But when that which is perfect is come, see that perfect teacher, then that which is in part shall be what? Done away with. Who's in part? The teacher that teaches what? Fear. Because when I was a child, I spoke as a child. Talking about when I was in fear, I what? I understood as what? Because I was taught what? Fear. I thought as a what? As one that was in fear. Because he used to always tell you, you better respect this, respect that person, you gotta respect this person. And when you was a child, that's what they tell you, right? There's so many people you gotta respect in this world. That's fear. But there's only one person when you grow up, you gotta realize you gotta feel. That's the truth. So now he said, but when I became a man, when I became perfect, when I finally grew up, I was no longer hindered by as a childish mind of being in fear. I put away what? And what is the child you had to put away? Fear. See, when I was in sin, that's what he was saying. When I was in sin, I thought sin, I believed it in it, I trusted in it. That's all I ever knew. That I had to be scared of this person, scared of this, scared of that, scared of that, scared of that, because there's always to be scared. But then when I became a man, I had to realize I had to put away those fears of things that, why am I afraid of it for? For now we see through a glass darkly, but then face to what? Because he's telling you at this point, now you saw things as in the water. That's darkly. See, you was in the water. Gloss, you know how you ever try to slip through water? Or like a swamp water, and you see how it's just all murky and dark? Because he's telling you right now you're looking at things in what? Fear. But then, face to what? Face to face, because you're no longer in the water. And now you see things as who see them? You see them as Yah sees it now. Because you're not in the murkiness water, are you no more? You're sitting on what? You're sitting above the water and now looking down as what? The eyes of what? So that's what he was trying to get Peter to do. I need you to see these people as Yah would what?
See them.
Exactly. Stop looking at them as being in there with them and come out of that state and look at them as Yah would want them to be treated. I'm about to say, love them as if you are what? Yah. That's what that means, to walk on what? There you go. Now I know in part, but then shall I know even as I am known. See, he's telling you, now I shall know as them who what? Know me. Now I begin to have the same what? Mind. And now abideth faith, hope, and love. These three. But the greatest of these is what? Love. You see? The greatest of them was love. And even in Matthew 6, he was talking about not fasting. He said, whenever you fast and you need something, pray. Go to your prayer. This was that prayer closet started out to be. Was that you stop praying to people. Meaning, stop telling everybody what you want out of life. If you need something, what? Because these pastors were supposed to do what? Go to their prayer closet. It wasn't even supposed to be ever be made known to the congregation what they needed. Now, that's all they do. We need 100,000 for this. We need this much for that. We need this much for this. We got this coming up over here. We're going to need money for this over there. We're going to need something for this over there. And those are your fears. You're not supposed to be teaching us your what? Yeah. What if this don't get paid? What if that? Why did you start a church in the first place? If you couldn't afford to what? Take care of those things. Because that's a faith walk between you and who? Yah. That's something. Who you need to ask about those things? Exactly. Because if Yah told you to do it, surely Yah gonna what? Give it to you and provide those things. But if you're afraid to go to Yah, then that's making me think that you and Yah ain't like you said you are. Because if you got faith, then you should be able to just pray and ask Yah. And Yah, if Yah with you, Yah trust me, Yah gonna bless your game. Especially if he see you walking in righteousness and in love for your people. Right? See, the shepherd never bite the sheep. That's what he's saying. But supposed to take tender care of them. Right? He ain't supposed to say, I'm hungry. Right? He eat up his sheep. But if he hungry, what he supposed to do? Pray. Like, yeah, the sheep ain't supposed to know. He be like, sheep, y'all sit here. Remember, that's what Yahusha used to do. He used to set himself aside. See, those for those moments that, yeah, just me and you here. You know, like he prayed right before he about to be crucified. He prayed, yeah, he says, you know I'm scared. But nevertheless, let your will be what? Done. He said, I would pray that you pass this cup from me. See, did he pray that in front of them? His disciples? Never. And did he pray that in front of the enemies? That was just between him and what? Because he told the disciples, y'all stay back. I need to go pray. He said, y'all just stay up and pray to him, watch. But they fell asleep, right? But he was praying, still praying. He said the sweat was dripping like blood. Because he was afraid. But that's how he learned discipline. Because he had to realize, now who am I supposed to be afraid of here? Am I going to be afraid of you, Yah? Or am I just going to be afraid of these people that's going to come and try to have me crucified? Now, who am I going to, But I got to make a choice today. That's what Yahushua understood. I got to make a choice today. Now, I can sit here, and when they come and fall on my knees, please, give me one more, and kiss some butt. Begging, please, no. Or be a man. He made the right choice on who to fear. That's why he's our heavenly teacher to this day, because he knew. All right. So with that, let's see. Now we know that the love of many going forward is going to wax cold. That's the point, because they don't have that love. So a lot of them, it will be extinguished because they don't have love. And they're going to realize that this is the key component that holds everything together. When I told you, Yah said the power, that is the power. Yah's power is what? What does Yah hold? Well, how did Yah hold this whole earth together? With love. Love is the glue. Love is the glue. Love is the yoke. See, people got power, but Yah got his own power that he operates with. That's why Yahushua said, try on my yoke. Let's go to that scripture. Then we can go to some fun things right quick. Matthew 11, 28 through 30. He says, so come unto me, all you that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you what? Rest. Take my yoke upon you. See, he's talking about his power. That's the holding power. How do you hold the elect? With what? Love. See, the voice of a stranger, they will not what? And they will not follow. Remember say that? They ain't going to be with you if you don't love them. So that's what he's telling you. See, that's the yoke. That's the holding power. That's the spell of it all. Right? See, you got magicians and stuff who try to cast spells through what? All other means, right? But Yah, he only got what? He said, you come to me with all these weapons. You come to me with guns. You come to me with bow and arrow. But I'm going to come to you with what? Love. Love. And love is going to conquer what? There you go. I'll come to you with love. You're going to step to me with all these weapons, guns, whatever you got to try to make me what? Fear. But I'm just going to come to you in what? That's it. He says, so therefore, try on my yoke. Come to me. Take my yoke upon you and learn what? Of me. See, that's because that's who Yahushua is. He's what? Love. That's why they don't know him. Verse 25. Oh, thank you, O Father, Lord of heaven and earth, because thou hast hid these things, what? From the wise and what? Prudent, and has revealed them unto what? Babes. See, that's what he means. Now you go back to 29. Learn of me, for I am meek. Remember, Yahushua said, anybody that Yah want to teach, he's going to give you to Yahushua. And you will receive the spirit to be taught this love. Our love is stronger than anything you can fear, and is stronger than any other weapons. Right? And you shall find rest unto your souls. For my yoke is what? Easy, and my burden is what? Light. That's Matthew 11 and 29. All right? So the yoke is what? His power comes from what? Love. That's the power of Yahushua. He doesn't use nothing else. He doesn't need gun. He don't need fear. He doesn't need none of those other things to love. All right? So I believe y'all got that part. Now let's move on to some fun. Now, anything eaten in unrighteousness, anything eaten in fear and doubt is sin, right? We know that now, right? Now, the prince of the air. Remember I told you he's the prince of what? He's the controller of what? What's in the air, I told you? Fear's in the air for sure. But the airwaves, remember I said that? He controls the airwaves. That's what he said, the prince of the air, meaning he controls all levels of communication. Right? So, go to, let's make sure I get it right. Obadiah. Yeah, I gotta reveal the last character that he wants to be revealed. Obadiah 1. Obadiah. Yeah. Now. Because Yahushua knelt to the cross, and he said, fear has a teacher. But fear also has, he said, now fear is the prince of the air. Now, he controls all levels of communication. So because he controls all level of communication, Yah described him. He says it in here, Obadiah 1. He says, and thus says the Lord Yah concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord, an ambassador sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathens, thou art greatly despised. The pride of your heart has deceived you, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that said in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Though thou have exalted thyself as the eagle, and thou hast set thy nest amongst the stars, thence will I bring you down. From that place will I bring you down, says Yah. Now, the key part I want y'all to get out that word was the word clefts. Clefts of the rock. Now, what is a cleft? I'm going to tell you what a cleft is. If you do a definition, if you Google what is a cleft in the rock, it's actually the root, one of the root words or the past tense word of cleave, cleaver. So that means he cut the rock what? In half. So he is the cleft of the rock. It says him who dwells in the split of the what? He said cleft means cleaver. When you cleaver something, you cut it what? In half. So he says, O thou who dwelleth, meaning he lives in the what? When it's cut in half, it's not what? Exactly. He lives in the middle. So he said this is Esau. He lives in the cleft of the rock, meaning the weakest part of the rock, the hole, the crack. This is where Esau lives. He lives in what they call the great what? Divide. He's divided himself in the pathway. Hold on, let me show you too. Let's read down. Go to verse 10. He said, for the violence against thy brother Jacob shall cover you, and thou shalt be cut off forever. In the day that you stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers carried away captive his forces, talking about Jacob's forces. And the foreigners enter into his gates and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou was one of them. But thou shouldest not look on the day of thy brother in the day that he became a stranger. Neither should you have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction. Neither should you have spoken proudly in the day of their distress. Thou shouldest not have entered into the gates of my people in the day of their calamity. Thou shouldest not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor had you laid your hands on their substance in the day of their calamity. Neither shouldest you have stood in the crossway to cut those off of his that did escape. Neither should you have delivered up those that did remain in the day of what? Distress. So for the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathens as thou hast done, and it shall be done unto you. Thy reward shall return upon your own what? Head. For the violence, what he has done to Jacob. Now, cleft, when he says he cut the rock in two, left two parts. He says Esau dwells where? 14 says, neither should you have stood in the what? The what? Crossway. Crossway. Okay. When you see a cross, whose image is in the middle of it? Exactly. That's what he was saying. On the crossway. He said, who dwelleth in the, always what? In the middle of the crossway. You dwell there. Now, when you look at a cross, he says, you love to block the way. Esau, the prince of the air, controls all communications. That's what he's saying, prince of the air. So the communication, he sits in the middle of communication. I always say he's always in the middle of what? The cliff of the rock. He sits in the middle. He's always in the crossway. Some of the places Esau is always found. Look, listen. No, think about it. He's always, anytime you're trying to import, export, where's Esau? Ain't he customs? You trying to go across the waters, you got to go through what? Esau. You want to go to this country, you trying to go to the next state, you got to go through who? The border. Who's at the border? Esau's at the border. Okay, you trying to go back to Jerusalem. Who's in the middle? Esau. Okay. Not only that, Poochie, he dwells in the middle, so that when a cross symbolizes those at the bottom couldn't have a relationship with Yah because who's in the middle? He blocks the what? Communication between you and who? Yah. He also sits in the middle as a dividing force against man, brother talking to what? You see, he's right there. He always sits in the middle, so he is what they call the great divider. He is the one that's keeping you divided from Yah. Because he put himself as who? As Yah. That's what he meant when he said you put yourself on the crossway. The difference between the relationship between man and what? Yah. You put yourself as that they, before they can get to Yah, they had to go through who? You taught man good and bad. You taught man fear. But you was corrupted. That's what he said. Esau is spoiled because he lives in what? Fear. So he can't be your teacher because he teaches what? Fear. But when you trying to fear Yah, he says, no, don't fear Yah, fear who? Him. Go to Romans 1. Romans 1. O ye who dwelleth in the clefts of the rock. (18) Romans 1:18 or 17. He says, for therein is the righteousness of Yah now revealed from faith to what? Faith. As it is written, the just shall live by what? Faith. For the wrath of Yah is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men, who hold the truth in what? Unrighteousness. Talking about fear. Because that which may be known of Yah is manifested in them. For Yah has what? Showed it to them. Showed them the truth that he's Yah. For the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even the eternal power, right, in Godhead, so that they are without excuse. What is that eternal power now? Love. Remember I told you love is the what? The power. So they know the love. And Godhead is to represent Yah in the what? Flesh. So when you're walking as Yah, you're supposed to operate Yah with no fear. That's the Godhead. I mean, you have the mind of what? Yah. They understand these things. So they are without excuse. 21. But because that when they knew Yah, they glorified him not as what? Yah. Neither were they thankful, were they? But they became vain in their imaginations, and in their foolish hearts was darkened, right? And they professing themselves to be wise. In doing that, they became what? Fools. And this is the wisdom that they thought they was going to do. That was going to turn themselves into what? Fools. And they changed the glory of the uncorrupted Yah into the image made like to a what? Corrupted man. So, and to birds and to four-footed beasts and creepy things. Wherefore Yah also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own heart, to dishonor their own what? Flocks between themselves. Who changed the truth of Yah into a what? A lie. And they worship and serve what? The creature more than the what? Creator, who is blessed what? Forever. Saying that they taught man to fear what? Man. And not fear who? Yah. So they stood in the gap between the relationship between you and who? Yah. They stood in the middle. And they blocked your communication between you and what? Yah. And said, if you want to get to Yah, we are Yah. And it stops there. We are the ceiling. And they taught the fear of man instead of the fear of what? Yah. And then when you try to communicate with your brother the truth, they block what? They block the communication of it. They said, we're not going to let that word what? Get out. We will not let it escape. They say, Esau, who dwelleth in the clefts of the rock, who dwelleth in the crossway, in the cross path. Okay, how do you know? He dwells in the weakness of bone. Remember, he says when the serpent, I'm gonna show you every example is given to let you know that's Esau. It says when Adam and Eve bit the apple, he says now when Yah cursed him, he said that the man's foot was gonna be what? On the serpent's what? Children's head, but the serpent was gonna bite his what? His heel. And the back of your heel is the weakest part of what? Your body. See, he dwells where? In the weaknesses. That's what he dwells in the cracks of the what? The rocks. He dwells in the cracks, in the cuts. He's always there in the wound. He's there. In your weakness. That was for one example. Second example. When Isaac gave birth to Esau and Jacob, he says when he came out, and he says Jacob grabbed the what? Heel of what? Esau. And said that was going to be the beginning of what? Jacob. When Jacob recognized what? The weakness of who? Esau. He was going to stop Esau at his weakness. Another time, when Jacob came across over the land of Esau, he took his wife and they went over the brook. And he told his family and kids to go over first. And right when he got ready to go cross over, he was met by a what? An angel that what? Wrestled him all night right there in the crossway. And he was not refusing to let Jacob what? Go. until Jacob realized it. He said, but what is your name? Remember? Because he remembered now that he was stronger than him because he walked it in love. And then what did it say about the angel? The angel say, let me go, because he began to what? Fear. He began to fear. And then Jacob became stronger than him. It's right there. He dwells in the clefts of the rock. He dwells always at that meeting point between that relationship, between that crossover point, between me and you. He's going to be right there. He says the devil is always in the midst of what? Confusion. Esau is in the center of all division, period. He's in the center of all trading routes, all trafficking, slave trade. He's always in the what? Flowing traffic of things. He is the miscommunication of life. And in the midst of all what? Confusion. So if you got confused, who taught you how to be confused? Esau. He is the interference in the world. In the midst of all flow of a hardened stone and a blocking mountain. See, he's also that mountain that gets what? In your way. It's Esau again. And he is the great wall of what? Separation. He keeps us what? Separate. And divided. He teaches the women don't mess with the men. Man, who's teaching you that? It's Esau. Esau's always in the middle. Anytime you have a miscommunication, who's doing it? It's Esau. It is Esau. He stands always in the gap. That's why they get to church talking about, I'm standing in the gap. Now you standing in the way. That's what you're standing in. Get out of the way. That's why they say that. Because the devil taught them to say that. We blocking you. We're not letting you see, Yah. We in the way of your relationship between you and what? Yah. We are hurting you. We are hindering. We're making sure you don't have that relationship. That's why they put stuff in your food. That's why they mess over your chemicals in your hair. Like the Tyrone, they clone Tyrone. Yeah, that's what they do. They block the relationship between you and Yah. That's what the cross, that's why they put themselves on the cross. But in return, they fooled themselves because now they have become what? The weakness. See, they thought it would be a smart thing to put themselves on the cross to block your communication between you and Yah and the communication between one and what? Another. Esau thought that'd be a great plan. That was, he thought it was so wise, and if we can block them from seeing Yah, we'll never got to worry about them. If we block them from one another, right? And we always insert ourselves in the mix to give them the miscommunication. Anytime he says it's argument, miscommunication, and that's the devil. He's always involved right there. That's why I hate getting on phones. I tell people that I don't really like, because I know it's the middleman. Esau is the what? Middleman. Always. He's always. And he's there to block that relationship between you and Yah, and that relationship between the flock and Yahushua. He's also there to block the shepherd from what? The sheep. He's also there to block man from what? Woman. He's also there to block parents from what? Children. He's always there to block what? Brothers from what? He's always that. He's the variant that makes all of that come true. That's why the world is always under so much confusion. Because his job is to make sure everyone gets blocked. Especially Israel. So that's why he put himself on the cross. See, up and down, he's in the middle lane. The dividing line, that's Jesus. And that dividing line between one and what? And another, he's right there too, isn't he? He's always there. That's what's so deceptive about him. That's why he said, oh, Esau, when Yah revealed him, he said, oh, the one who dwell in the split of the rock. You always there between one side and what? Another. You always find yourself there. But he wanted us to understand that. Now he is what they call, that's why Jacob grabbed his heel, because he grabbed the weakest part of what? Esau. He said, now this by this, and he grabbed his weakness by his what? Strength. His hand was his what? Strength. But for Esau, that was his what? So he says, Jacob is going to reveal Esau's what? By Jacob's what? Strength. That was what that parable meant. Now, Jacob's strength is the power of what? Love. Which, when you walk in love, it has no fear. But it brings out, when they see you walking without fear, it brings out the what in them? The fear in them. It brings it out. Telling you the truth, it brings it out. They start turning red and nervous because they see it's not. They don't want to see fear. I mean, they don't want to see somebody boasting in muscles. They don't want to see somebody boasting in looks. They don't want to see somebody boasting in knowledge. Like he just said, none of those things is going to survive anyway. But if they ever caught somebody what? Operating in what? In love, they was going to get scared. They was going to get nervous. Because they see the teacher with the student. They look, oh, we got to block that. We got to block that. They're learning. They're growing. We supposed to what? Separate that. Give them a bad teacher in between that. Don't never let them two get together. Because that was the prophecy. Man leaves mother and father and cleanse his wife, and the two become what? So they never wanted us to become one again. So they're in a divide that keeps breaking up the what? The unity. They are the dividing force of all unity. The world would have been a better place, but Esau is the one that keeps nobody what? He won't let Africa talk to. See, who blocking TikTok? Who blocking communications? Who blocks your channels? Who blocks it? It's Esau. Who want to build a wall? Esau. He's always at the cleft of the rock. He's always at the split between two. That's what that means. Cleft means split. When Yah says, why do you love to sit there calling yourself me? You thought that was a smart thing to do, to call yourself me. That way they'd never think to know to serve their Yah, but serve you. But in return, you have just inherited. What did he inherit when he got on that cross? He said he nailed it to the cross. What did Yahushua nail to the cross? Fear. And then Esau's stupid butt climbed up there and became what? Didn't even know. So he inherited what? Fear. He inherited it. So all of them have what in them? And they don't have the spirit that would not, the spirit of bravery that will recover, the spirit of love that has no fear. Pure. So now you know how you're going to beat them. Through love. Through love. But this love has to have no what in it. Because they can sense fear. But they need to see that you will stand up for your people in what? In love. They can't beat that. And there's nothing they can do against that. What he said, I'm convinced, nothing gonna stop the love of Yah. Nothing can get in the way, including Esau. He can't get in the way of the love of Yah. But if you do it for any other reasons, that means you are a hypocrite. And at that point, Yah can't use you. That's why he couldn't use some of them other ones who fallen before. Because they didn't have a genuine love for the people. None of them did. Though they say they did, right? We know all of them had a secret agenda in which they wanted. Now, whether it be MLK or whether it be Malcolm X or whether it be Farrakhan, any one of them, we all know they have Nathaniel. They all have an agenda. It's not genuine. So long as it's not genuine, Esau is fine with that. Only thing he fears, though, that's why he said he fears who? The Messiah. Last verse, Revelation 6. Go to verse 8. Start at 8. And looked, and I looked, and behold, the pale horse, and his name that sat on him was what? Death, and hell followed him with him. You know that's Esau. And a power was given unto him over the fourth part of the earth to what? Kill with sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the what? The earth. So he destroyed the earth through fear. And when he opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of Yah and for the testimony which they what? Held and kept. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, How long, O Lord? How long, holy and true, doest thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on earth? And white robes were given unto every one of them, and it was said unto them that they should rest for a little season until their fellow servants also and their brethren that should be killed in like manner should be fulfilled. And I beheld when he opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake. And the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. And the stars of heaven fell up onto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs. He's talking about untimely figs represented spoiled fruit. He's talking about what? Anything that has fear is what? Spoiled. When she shall be shaken of a what? A mighty wind. So why is she shaking? She fears. Exactly. The fear is shaking her. And when she's shaking up, a mighty what? Wind. So remember he said they will blow on you, the devil blew on you. Now, y'all gonna put that one that's full of love, and he gonna what? He gonna blow on them. And that's gonna pull out the what out of them? The fear. And he says, and then at that moment, and then the heaven departed as a scroll, when it is rolled together. And every mountain island was moved out of their place. You see that? Heaven departed as a scroll, meaning they all was gathered what? Together. They all gathered together to make war with this one because they knew this one come for love. And they knew once he came, he was going to set all the people free because he came with what? Love. And love, the sheep was going to what? Hear his voice. And once the sheep hear his voice, they was going to adapt. And that's why they always try to kill the communication between Yahusha and his what? People. Always try to kill that communication. Because they know what that means. So all of these are going to be said, depart as a scroll, they all going to come together as in the closing of a what? A book. And so they all, but back in those days, they didn't have books that had scrolls. So it's still the rapid what? Roll it back up. So that's what I mean. They're going to be gathered like rolling bunches of wheat. You tie them up. And every mountain will be moved out of their place. Talking about the nations. Everybody going to be scared. Everybody going to be moving out of their own what? They're going to not remain where they used to be. They're going to start trying to take everything captive. Like, you got to serve me, but the elect going to wake up. But they're going to try to promote what? Fear heavily. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man. You see all these are your captains. These are your slave masters. You see? What they did? Hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the Mount Sea, in the cleft of the what? And said to the mountains and rocks, what? Fall on us and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of his wrath is come. Who shall be able to what? You see? Because when he comes in love, they won't be able to compete with that. Now they're going to be trying to hide and run. That's why they want to go to space and stuff. Now because they know it's coming. See, if you can speak in any other manner, they know that's not going to work. That's what keeps the people asleep. Because you talk to them with an agenda. They're not going to listen to you if they believe you have a what? An agenda. That's why I told you, the only way you can love them is to love them with your whole what? Your whole heart. Your whole mind, your whole body, your what? Your whole soul. You got to just let go and let what? That's why they tell you, let go and let what? Let Yah. They always say that, but how many of us truly what? See, and when he's talking about let go, he's talking about let go in love. So when you say you love Israel, then let go and love them. Stop fearing the repercussions of, you should never fear the repercussions of love. Okay? Learn that. Never fear the repercussions of love. If I'm going to love you, I'm just going to love you, and that's going to be it. And I'm not going to worry about if you love me back. But I'm just going to pour everything I got into you. That's it. That's it. And then let Yah be the what? Let Yah be the judge. That's it. That's how Yah wants us to walk with one another. You pour your all into Israel. And you do it without no fear. Because fear is the error. And we don't walk in error. That's the error. Error means you in part or you're childish. You haven't matured in this word if you still, meaning you are the one still on milk. You either eating strong meat or you still eating what? Drinking what? Milk when it comes to this righteousness. Because righteousness only can be prescribed with love. That means strong meat. Because that's just stronger than milk. Milk said, I'm still what? Scared. Teach me that scary stuff. I'm not ready. But strong meat belongs to those that have aged and have begun to understand good and evil. And understand what is righteousness and what is the requirements of it. And how to truly do it with righteousness in love. Remember? You gotta love people. You can't just be, even if you start the ministry, you gotta be in it for the good and the what? You gotta be ready for that. You can't go into it playing games or halfway doing it. Because you're gonna be tested on it anyway. And all y'all testing you for is that same what? That love level. See? Yeah. That part. You won't be able to hide it. You won't be able to get away with it. It's going to be made known. The minute you back out, see. And then y'all, and it's not that you back out. I'm going to tell you the truth. What Yah has always told me long ago at the Great Line, anytime the lion sits in the jungle, he's just like Yah's priest. And Yah says, I gotta feed him. So the lion sits out there and sees all the 100 gazelles running by, all the wildebeest running by, sees all the zebras running by, sees all the deers. He ain't gonna buzz just yet because he waiting for what Yah say. Because then Yah will give him one and say, that one. That one. Take it. And so he springs out on that particular zebra. Now the zebra already going to be wounded because Yah wounded it. Yah wounded the zebra so that it could be for the lion. Because the lions have to eat what? But that zebra is sacred at that point. It's sacred because it's called sacred meat at that point. That's why none of the animals can touch it because that belongs to the lion. And so, but if that zebra is received, it's well received by Yah. But if that zebra somehow kick its and shake its way free and run off, so I got away. Of course, it's gonna think that, yeah, I'm good. I'm real good. Can't catch me. Probably get the really strutting. But in actuality, it didn't get away. Yah didn't want it. Yah didn't want it. Because everything that is of Yah is received of Yah. And that's what Yah would give it to the lion so that Yah can receive it. Because it just goes into the house of the lion. That's all it ever went. That it can become. But if Yah ever let it escape, it wasn't Yah that let it escape. Yah just didn't what? He didn't want it. And then he would give the lion what is meat. What is right for the lion. So, and that's the priesthood, meaning the ministry. So that the zebra realized after it got away that, dang. Yeah. Right, you should have, yeah, but it thought, in pride, it thought it escaped. It thought it escaped to a very, horrible thing, but actually it was for its blessing. Because the lions were going to purify. Take away all the what? Fear. That it could dwell amongst what? Lions. But because it escaped, it would never be able to understand that. What is it like to be amongst the great ones? But it almost had its shot. But now it's cast back into the water. You ever see how the zebras, they run together? See, it's just casting them back into the water. Right? But Peter, he took out the water, but some he what? You ever seen fishermen that pull out and they look at it like nine and toss it back in? Because it's not the catch of the what? It ain't the catch of the day. So we know that in Yah, we never want to be that one that runs away from what? The truth in love. But we take it and we go all the way with it. And that's what's expected of all of us. And with no agenda behind it. You just do it because you know that's what Yah had taught you to do. Yah just taught you to love, then just love. Don't put nothing behind it. Don't put no other thought into it. You know, what I can get or what I can do with this or that. Just love. That's what Yah called us to do with each other. Just love. Because love covers a multitude of what? Sins. All right? But always understand now, Esau is the father of what? Fear. Well, his daddy first the devil, but then he's definitely the son of what? Fear. And all these people teach what? And then they even got people of other nations who teach what? Because they learned it from who? Esau. Who learned it from who? The devil. All right? So understand that. That's why he put himself on the cross, but that was the worst thing he could have ever did because he just exposed his weakness. His weakness is what? Fear. All right? So with that, that's going to conclude our family day. I pray y'all learned something. I pray y'all have grown and understand this course and this faith. For the just shall live by what? Faith. Walk by faith and not by what?
Sight.
And you'll be fine. Yeah, I got you. You will always keep your heart grounded and stable. Because that's what he said, gird about with truth. Truth is what? Love. See, we say, so the belt is what? The belt, or it's the undergarment. Because the undergarment holds everything what? Together. So you need that to hold it all together. That love. Because that's what makes it all go. You can start them, you can do whatever you want to do, but if you ain't got no love behind it, it means nothing. So remember that. That's what gird about with truth meant. To be girded about first with this love. And then all the other armor pieces are added. Faith, shield of faith, helmet of salvation, the breastplate of righteousness, the shoes of the preparation of the gospel, and the sword of the spirit. But you need, and then which is the word of Yah. But you need, before any of those things can work, you need what? Love. You got to have a pure love for your people. Same way Moses did. That's the only way it's possible. But if Moses didn't have a pure love for the people, there was no way Yah would have used him to set what? Israel what? Free. That's the whole point. He's not going to use no hypocrite. He ain't going to use nobody that's scared, that's scary, that's fearful, that can't, I don't know. He's going to just throw you back in the water. But we know Yah has mercy and what? Grace. Understand that too. What are the three things we know he is? Merciful, judgment, righteous. All right? Which is love and kindness, right? That love is always there. When we think about the love and kindness, to me, it's like it's folded in three: love, mercy, and forgiveness. All of that to me is goodness. So it's like a package. And all of that is the love of Yah, the goodness that he has towards us, right? And we even add grace to it too. And that's the love he has for us. Mercy, forgiveness, and what? And grace. And that's all his love package for us. And so we got to have that on what? One another. Don't be too hard on one another. Know that we all still growing and learning. And oversee that. So don't be in there to oversee someone's death, but to oversee their growth. That's what you're there for. Oversee their growth. Oversee that their love level is growing. Oversee those things. Make sure that that person is well loved. That's it. That's what Yah wanted you to do. Make sure they're well taught, well loved. You know? They understand these great teachings of Yah. That they can grow. Because like I said, people don't get these teachings. They don't. They say they always taught the doctrines of men, meaning they only teach an Esau style, which is fear. Every pastor teaches fear because he's scared. You can't teach me if you scared. That's why he told us, come out what? From amongst them. They can't teach you if they scared too. You can't be my teacher if you scared too. I can't go to your church and you scared of what they're going to tell you. And therefore, every time you teach me, your message is always hindered. It's limited. Because you scared to even bring out things that you know is there. But you afraid, well, if they find out I'm telling you this or telling you that, I'll get in trouble. But then you are in what? Fear. You can't be my what? My teacher. I don't need a coward as a teacher. Neither should you guys. All right? No coward as a teacher. And even when you grow up, you don't become what? And you teach your kids the same. I'm not telling you to go out that door and do nothing stupid. No. But I am telling you to walk with no what? And always walk in love. The love for Israel takes away the fear. That's what I'm telling you. That's the medicine. Medicine is love. Whenever you want to fear, just say, put your head down and say, no, I'm just going to love her. I ain't no way I'm just going to love her. I ain't going to think about it because if I start getting in my head, she loved me. I can't keep doing myself like that. Just let it go. And I'm just going to already make this decision, true resolve that I'm just going to what? Love. I just come to this resolve of it. You know what? I'm just going to love you. What's going to be, what's going to be. But I know I love Joe, but that's it. With everything I had. Even when times get what? Right, still there. In it for it all. Right? And that's, if you ain't got that mindset, you ain't got you still in fear. And you ain't in love. And that's what it said, at that point you ain't pleasing Yah anyway. Because you don't even know how to let go and let Yah. Right? You made a decision, you what? You stand by it. You don't like people toss to and what? There you go. Made a decision to love Yah and love those of Yah. You stand on that decision. That's the love of Yah. It'll see you through too. I didn't been in a situation where I was sought all the way through to the end of it. And I'm glad that I never walked away from it. Because this is how I'm able to understand these things now. So that's the same thing for you guys. That I didn't run from it when the going got what? Got tough. Because you're going to have good times with Yah, but you're also going to have testing times. But all things will work for the what? Good of those who love Yah. That's what he's telling you. It's going to work out. It was maybe meant for you to understand another great truth. Like Job, right? Sometime. And what was the ending of Job? Mercy. The end of Job was what? Mercy. Because he didn't keep him like they did it. But Yah turned around and had what on him? So because we understand now that Yah is what? Mercy. And we have to have that too. All right? So with that, that's going to conclude Family Day. Let's pray.